There we go. Sound check. We are live, streaming live from the Metro Card Club in Pasig City. Tonight, another edition of the Metro Weekend Special. It is the weekend. This is how we end the week. And final table. You're watching final table tonight, as usual. Final 9 players. There were 464 runners in this one. And now only 9 remain. Total prize pool, a whopping 696,000. And at stake, cash and prizes. We'll tell you more as we go along. Let's get to know the players at our final table. Turn your audio up. You might hear the table talk as well. All right, taking the time to share this live stream. We got a player all in. Ricky's all in already. That was quick. All in with ace 10. He is, of course, one of the shorter stacks. Facing a raise from Cruz. Cruz seeing a lot of this gentleman in the recent weeks, and we see him again here. Ricky, of course, we might be looking at Ricky Singapan, who was all in for his 225,000. Came into the final table as the second shortest stack. And now Cruz deciding he can afford to bust him. Surely he can. He's a chip leader with 2 million. He's got a wired pair, which tends to be ahead of most ace X hands. That's exactly what's going on here. The pair against the two overcards as the tournament life of Ricky Singapan is now on the line with the suited ace 10. Pretty looking hand, but it's only pretty if it connects. Oh, there is one heart on the board. I'll hope for two more. Or, of course, an ace of 10, a connecting card like a face card. Jack Queen brings extra out. Board pairing also brings extra out. No, that is all she wrote. Rick is drawing bid on the turn as the step appears for Cruz, and he improves the full house for good measure. And just like that, we are down to 8 players. There you see the turning clock on your left. So we will lose Ricky Singapan from seat number 1. He will finish 9th with a modest payout of 6,750. But more importantly, he gets a mega satellite seat for the Philippine Poker Millions. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. Probably the biggest locally mounted guaranteed tournament event in Philippine poker history. The Philippine Poker Million has a 55 million peso prize pool that's playing at the Metro Card Club beginning on August 20. But there are many qualifiers around town. Just ask around or follow the Facebook pages of your favorite poker clubs. 8 players remain. We move on to New Deal. Some players we haven't seen in a long time, and some we see every day. Well, right now we have Junam Sik a couple of weeks ago at a final table as well. He seems to be running hot lately. He doesn't play that hand. Padilia, one of the veterans of daily and weekly tournament grinds, making his way to this final table. Got a modest stack, 915,000. He is a top 3 among the chip leaders right now. He raises it to 55K. Blinds are 10,000, 25,000, and it's 25,000 BBN. So he raises it to 55,000. Off we go to Raymond Chu. Bond on the hand, and the oven toaster, Joven Huerto. Has an interesting hand he might want to play a button with, so he's going to fat call Padilia. They have each other's out, so to speak. And RD is Ruel de los Santos. Call him RD. Thinking if he should come along with the offsuit King 5. Of course not. And now in the big blind, Adrian with garbage. Not likely to get sucked into this one. So it's going to be Padilia versus the oven toaster on the flop. And that is a small bing from the oven toaster as he hits the top pair on a paired board. 8-7-7 with 2 clubs showing Padilia has no piece of this. Might be good enough for the oven toaster to take this down. Padilia is a pre-flop raiser, did not continuation bet, so he is done there. And we see the standings here. Not much of a shakeup as the rich got richer. Deck Cruz busted Ricky Singapan just a hand ago. Overwhelming lead right now. Second time we're seeing Deck Cruz in the span of 2 weeks, I believe. It's a great time to get hot as the Philippine Poker Millions approaches. You want to peak right on that day. Another familiar face is Romel Atiga in seat 7. RBA, of course, a veteran poker player and has been in and around the industry for at least the last 15 years. Under the gun, Jay Padilia is going to try this one again, this time with a slightly better hand. King, queen off, suited. Opens with a limp, and we'll see how the table responds to this. Owen Toaster has a lovely hand to limp in with, but can he guarantee he will see the flop? There can always be a squeeze coming from the left, so he opts to let that one go. Hardy's hands are getting worse by the minute, and Adrian's has slightly improved, but still ultimately not playable. Gonna try to limp this in just because Jay Padilia limped in. Oh, you never know. But Junam Sik might wake up with in the big blind. Let's see what Junam Sik has got. He's already checked his option with a 9-7 offsuit. Free look for Junam Sik, and Jay Padilia might regret this limp in. Let's see how it plays out. No regrets there. He flops top 2 pair, and Junam Sik has the bottom piece of it. Jun may be checking to call 1, but you know what? He was the big blind. Saw this one for free, and now it's going to cost him 30,000 as he has hit the bottom pair and wants to proceed. Jay Padilla's hand is completely disguised. It is a full house now as the queen pairs aboard, and turn goes check, check. That's nasty. And June Rivers a higher pair. Unfortunately for Jay, June's 2 pair is counterfeited, so he might not get much action here. He did check the turn, try to do some kind of big bet on the river. It's not happening, so Jay has to fire a small value bet here now. Maybe go for the size of the pot, like 110,000. What's it gonna be? Looks like 80. 70,000. Junam Sik only has 1 pair. The 7 does not really count. What can he beat here that limped in? I think he should have given it a bit more thought, as Ace X hands that he was beating likely don't limp in from under the gun. So Junam Sik extracted from, as he unwillingly was forced to play that garbage hand, hit a garbage pair, and pays the garbage man. Jay Padilia, his limp is paying off. Well, in that instance, it had paid off. Take time to share the stream. You're watching the Metro Weekend Special 400K Guaranteed Final Day. 8 players remaining. We already lost Ricky Singapan. This is live streaming from the Metro Card Club. Share the stream so we can reach new viewers, because new viewers can become new players. And new players are what keep the industry going. Not playing the same guys for the last 20 years. Thanks to these live streams. Back to the card game. RBA as we play the hand. Yet that Cruz is the quick leader by a small country mile. That's Queen 9 of clubs. He opens for 60K. On Raymond Chu. Waking up with queens here. He is second in command. These are the top 2 tip leaders. And not sure they're willing to collide here. Mon playing it cagey. Smooth calling with a pocket queen. Well, what he's probably looking for now is somebody to take the bait and try to squeeze this. Having a razor in a caller is usually a good move for anyone in the blinds to fire away a 3-bet squeeze. Let's see if somebody falls for this. The snare has been set. Esmond has dug a small pit with his pocket queens and covered it up with banana leaves. Let's see if Junam Sik or any of the blinds are going to fall through this. Doing a small blind with a random ace. That's going in the muck. And now we see what the blinds have. King 10 for J. Padilia. He is in the big blind and he's going to come along. The Raymond Chu has successfully dragged in J. Padilia into this pot, but J. Padilia has that 1 overcard. That cannot hit a pair to save his life. He'll have to hit really hard. Flop comes ace, 8, 8, 2 hearts on the board. Nobody has a draw. Pocket queens are ahead, but that Cruz, that ace does hit its range, but he doesn't bet on it. He checks and gives up initiative. This opens the door for Mond. Now he's turned his hand into a bluff here, because if he bets here, he's sometimes going to get called by flush draw. But more often than not, he's only going to get called by hands that already beat him, meaning the ace and the 8 in hand. So this is a very thin value bet, but wow, Deck Cruz going to float this. Deck trying to tell a story here. He was a pre-flop raiser. He checked the ace on the board. Now he's check called with queen high. Now the board has 2 pairs, aces and 8s on it. Would be a good bluffing opportunity for Deck Cruz, as anything he could have called with now has a full house. He just needs to represent it. And with a 3rd heart coming on the river, he can now also represent a flush. Deck Cruz cannot win with queen high. Cannot win with queen high. He must bet here. And you know what? If the bet is big enough, if it's a gross amount, it could blow Mond out of the hand. If it's too small, Mond will look him up for value. Oh, that looks about the size of the pot. Loving this bet. 350 into a pot of 385. Deck Cruz has nothing. He's got a queen kicker. Mond has pocket queens, but the board has 2 8s, 2 aces, and 3 hearts. Great pressure by Deck Cruz. Oh, Mond wants to look him up. These are the 2 chip leaders at the table. Usually the dynamic is that they don't want to tangle with each other. They want to pick on smaller stacks. Love this bet by Deck Cruz. It's uncallable on this board texture. Deck check called on the flop. He could have an 8, he could have an ace, he could have a hard draw. Everything that he could possibly check call except queen high has gotten there on the river. It is such a good story to tell, and Mond buys it. He believes. And because the live stream is on a 20-minute delay, he will find out in 20 minutes that he has been bamboozled by the lovely river play and the lovely flop play of Deck Cruz. Well, tip for the newer players, next time you got pocket queens in that spot, just re-raise it pre-flop, play it straightforward, because you can always get outplayed after the flop. The longer the board runs, you get the flop, turn, river, the weaker your hand becomes if it's unimproved, and you might end up getting bluffed out, just like that. This time Deck Cruz has the ace, 8 of hearts, fresh from the board, jumps up after the shuffle into his hand. Raymond Chu must be pondering the wasted opportunity that was his pocket queen. Now in this hand, Deck is raised from under the gun after committing grand larceny in the previous hand. See if he can run the table. RD doesn't have much. I mean, right now the color of his hair is way more interesting than the quality of his hand, especially that he is in the hijack with players left to act behind him. But you know what? He is the short stack. He's going to make a move. It's not the right move, and it's not the right time because Adrian's sitting right behind him with ace king offsuit. And Adrian's an even shorter stack. It's all into call, and why wouldn't he? That Cruz could have raised with a wide range of cards. Shouldn't be concerned about that. And if you're concerned about RD 3 betting all in here, well, you know what? He could have any pair lower than ace or king, which means you got to flip for your tourney lives, buddy. Adrian, is he playing to climb the money ladder or is he playing to accumulate chips? All right, of course. Had to consider getting out the way, but ultimately this is the optimal move. And to the shock of RD thinking, wait a minute, that's not how it's supposed to play out. I'm supposed to shove and everyone's supposed to fold. But the good news for RD is he does cover Adrian. As we look at that Cruz, does he want to get in on this for 135K more? He can bust two players. And it's worth a shot. I think it's worth taking a crack at it. And Deck Cruz agrees. And he's going to try to bust these two players in one go. I don't know how he's going to do it with ace 8 of hearts. Going to need a lot of hearts to show up. But you know what? That 8 is live. If an 8 shows up, he's ahead of both gentlemen. Oh, tourney lives on the line. Lowest stack is Adrian with ace king offsuit. And slightly higher, but ultimately short stack as well as RD with queen 10 offsuit. And Deck Cruz trying to bust them both with his ace 8 of hearts. Let's see if he is on target. It's a moving target. Queen on the window. Jack 9 queen. Open ender and top pair for RD. He now blocks the king because the king gives him a straight. Adrian can only survive with an ace or a 10 for a straight. There's the ace. So the short stacks are going to survive this one as Adrian is in the lead right now. RD is second and will take the side pot because Deck cannot improve here. And only an 8 could have eliminated both players as it stands. RD has been eliminated by... Oh, Deck Cruz did hit the ace and takes the side pot. My bad. And it's Adrian who survives as he had an ace with a higher kicker. Wow, that's a 2-outer there. And Deck Cruz did get a little bit of a rebate there. And we have seen the last tonight of RD. Ruel de los Santos from seat 3. Has been booted from seat 3. And then there were 7. You're still watching the Metro Weekend Special 400K guaranteed. Final day. Final table. Final 7 players. And these 3 right there on your screen, the 3 gentlemen from right to left, might have a combined 60 years of poker play in the Philippines. Just the 3 of them alone. And they have risen from the lowest games and played in some of the high-end tournaments. They've earned their spots here. That's for sure. We got ourselves a new deal. And Mondis under the gun with 6-4. That's in the muck. Oven Toaster with ace 2 offsuit in the +1. Currently, I'm not monitoring your comments, but I will get to see them in a bit. I'm going to do a bit of back reading. Oh, Adrian's got about 16 big blinds. Doesn't need to go nuts here, but might want to start to be a little bit active. One of them weaker raising hands, but they stand still pretty good, but not as good as ace queen of spades. It's been raised to 50,000. Junam Sik sitting on a bigger Broadway hand, and it's suited. He does cover Adrian, and if he three bets this, it's gonna put maximum pressure on Adrian. If he goes all in, but even betting half his stack puts that pressure on. And there is the raise of almost half the stack of Adrian. Padilia would have loved to come along a single race pot in pocket fives, but not a three bet pot. He's out of there. RBA can't get a hand. He is out of there. Deck Cruz also fold. Decision time for Adrian. Really can't four bet shove with ace 10 offsuit. Not against Junam Sik. The thing is, Junam Sik three bet right after Adrian, so it's not like Adrian bet and there's dead money between them. If there's no dead money between them, it's less likely that Jun is just making a move here. So it's more likely he actually has something that beats ace 10. And with that being said, Adrian comes to the same conclusion. Junam Sik shows the ace queen of spades as he takes the pot. Oh, nice of him. Means Adrian will not lose sleep over this one. Give it a table talk. Well, it sounds like somebody just confessed to blundering with pocket queens. I love it when a table's mic'd. 5 minutes to go in this level, level 25 of the Metro Weekend Special 400K Guaranteed Texas Hold'em Tournament. Coming to you live, with a security delay, live streaming from the Metro Card Club in Pasig City, Philippines. Folded round to Junam Sik in the hijack with pocket 8. And he makes it 60,000 to go. RBA still playing the patient game, waiting for his spot. No need to strike. Deck Cruz, meanwhile, trying to be active. Trying to end this tournament on his terms. He calls the extra 50. And Mon calls 35, coming along for the ride. We are 3 ways into the flop. Junam Sik has the 8 speculative cards for the other gentleman. Ace 3-6 Rainbow is the flop. It's an open-ender for Mon, and Junam Sik has the second pair over pair to the 3 and 6. Plus, with the ace showing, it's worth a bet, but Jun does not bet. He checks. We're going to see a turn for free, and another overcard to the 8 rolls off. I tell you guys, you know, when you got a wired pair, they really come unwired. As the board unravels, your hand gets weaker and weaker. And with players checking left, right, and center, Mon takes a stab, bets 100,000 with 5 high, and he will take that pot down. Missed opportunity for Junam Sik, who might have done well to not give up initiative so soon. It was relatively good flop for him to bet on. His range fits the ace, and his overpair was better than the other 2 cards on the board. A very conservative play, and the pot was taken away by the player with the worst hand. As can happen a lot in poker. You saw Deck Cruz do it earlier against pocket queens. Here we go, Adrian. Lost a few chips trying to make a move with ace 10 earlier, and now under the gun with king deuce off. I believe this is not the ship to sail in. Junam Sik with the jack 4 of clubs. No need to get fancy here. Padilia with a cute little hand here. 9-7 of diamonds. Suited and almost connected. He doesn't like it, but RBA. Has he finally found a hand he wants to play? No, Jack 4 is horrible, but he's playing because he's folded to him in the cutoff. He hasn't been active for a while, and this might get things going for him. Unfortunately, Deck Cruz is going to come along on the button, flat calling RBA. with a hand that dominates his Jack 4. Mond is all in for 1 million. That's how you play premium cards, sir. He didn't do it with queens. He's doing it with ace king offsuit. It's going to blow everyone out the pot. Unless somebody loses their mind here. That is 1 million in the middle before the flop, and he's going to take this down. I mean, that's good play even without ace king. You see a raise and a caller in between. You 3-bet away, see what you can take down. So Mond moves back on up to the 1.2 million mark. Began the final table with just a smidge over 1 million, so he's improving. And of course, with 2 players busting, 7 players to go, he's that much closer to taking this down, but not as close as Deck Cruz is. Might see a couple more deals before the blinds go up, but right now the blinds are 10,000, 25,000, with a 25,000 BB ante. Junam Sik sends his cards into the muck, and Padilia wasn't even sitting there and was dealt garbage. All right, so it's folded round to the button. Mond with 8-7 of spades. He's gonna make a move on this one. Why not? Button raised to 70,000. Open Toaster gets out the way. And Adrian with pocket tens. Break out the shoe polish. It's time to shine. Adrian taking his time here. 3-bet is in order. Hate to see a flat call and a check fold with this kind of hand. Gotta take matters into your own hands, and he's got the hand to do it with. On cue, all in is to play. Mond cannot possibly call 260,000 more. Unless he's seeing into the future. Pop quiz for the viewers. At a poker table, would you rather see your player's cards, or would you rather see the future of what will come on the board? Think about that one. I think Mond can see the future because he's considering calling here. If he could see Adrian's hand, he wouldn't be calling. So he's seeing something else? Nope. Good sense prevails. He gives it up. Adrian has a modest gain. Well played by both gentlemen. And the blinds are up. 15,000, 30,000 with a 30,000 BB ante. Regular antes only play at final tables in major events. This is a weekly event. Not saying it's minor. Whatever is between minor and major, that's what this event is. It's a weekend special. The guaranteed 400K, guess what? Prize pool is up to 696,000, almost 700K. How's that for shattering expectations? Padilia might have positive expectations. Good Queen 7 of clubs. Nope. Gives it up. RBA tried to make a move earlier with Jack 4 offsuit. Just because he's been inactive, he feels like being active combined with his image might get some respect when he finally raises, but he's raising here with King 7 off. Yeah, if you read the table and then they're in a foldy mood pre-flop, why not? Why not try to take a few before the flop? So RBA might succeed here. He might get through unless Adrian picks up a read. No reads picked up. Junam Sik can defend with Queen 8 offsuit. That is not what RBA wanted to see, but he can deal with it because he has initiative, positional advantage, and actually the better hand among the two. The flop comes with a king. King 9-6 before their screen blacked out, but trust me on this. RBA has top pair and has now flopped himself something he can bet on. June, I don't see him floating with Queen 8. No pair, no draw. So check by June, and RBA will certainly has put a bet in. Just confirming the amount. It's 70K. June folds. Pot to RBA. Well played, sir. Making something out of nothing. And that's what you got to do to progress in a poker tourney, especially at a final table. You can't sit there wait for a hand. It might not never happen for you. See, you got to make things happen just like RBA did right there.
Okay, next hand.
So short stacks at the table, I would say it's Adrian Lumbero with about 400,000. Other players are over the hovering around the 20 BB mark. Average stacks 994. They don't have that
60.
because Deck Cruz
60,
has the
60.
lion's share of the chips and Raymond Chu has the Cub share.
Two fold.
RBA
Hira pala.
looking like a maniac now. Third raise in four hands. This time with pocket fours from under the gun. Probably picking up the read that the table is raring to fold cards, so give them a reason to fold and take their dead money.
Five fold.
Can he get through the blinds? Junam Sik will not defend with Queen 3. J. Padilia.
Six. Call.
They really want to play RBA in post flop action because they are calling him super wide at this table. J. Padilia defending his big blind with Queen 5 offsuit
Two
and
spades.
something good on the board. It comes 2-5-6 with two clubs. J. Padilia now ahead of RBA. RBA has two outs. The remaining four for a set,
Seven.
or the remaining three in the deck.
Okay, third card.
J. Padilia donk bets RBA calls. Oh my lord! It is the one of the two outs that RBA had has come. The last three on the deck has come off and given him a straight.
Six bet. 120.
J. Padilia cannot possibly read that RBA was calling him with a four in his hand. A gut shot.
Sige, sige.
J. Padilia continues his action. He did donk bet the flop. You know, RBA's got to think about raising this. There are two tones on the board now, two spades and two clubs. So RBA decides to take it down. Enough is enough. It's a big enough pot. Thank you, J. Padilia, for your business. But I'm showing you the door, and you can leave her with a receipt and your pants on. Or you can leave with nothing if he calls this. He is drawing to one out, the case four, and it's not even a winning out. It's a chopping out.
10.
490 to call.
16. 16.
Billy, don't be a hero.
Oo. Wala akong less than 400. Marami pa.
RBA gets very animated when he likes what he's seeing. Keep an eye out for that. That is the sound of the shot clock, I believe. So, J. Padilia agonizing over this hero call. Now also owes a time bank. And as the end of this hand, RBA does not get paid. He wants to show, but he does not. Big enough pot for pocket fours. Good action from RBA. Making something for nothing. Two hands in a row. Check out the chip counts as I step away for a brief drink.
Hindi ma-read. Sobrang lagkit. Ang lagkit, ang hirap mag-flop eh. Mel, big blind. Ah, bottom side. 9 fold. 10 fold. 2 fold. 4 fold. 5 raise 75. 6 fold. 7 fold.
Yes.
Fold. 4 fold. 5 raise 75. 6 we raise 220. 7 fold.
Junam Sik trying to make something happen. Jay Padilia is gonna slap him back into reality as he three bets with pocket queens.
9 fold.
He's re-raised a third of his stack, pretty committing, and everybody gets out of the way to try to make a move in the cutoff because it was folded to him.
Wala sa isip ko. Ngayon lang.
And I gotta remind you, like when you see a three bet immediately after the raiser, it's usually legit. Uh, a lot of times you're gonna see a pre-flop raise, somebody calls, and then somebody three bets. There are some bluffs in those ranges when that happens, when there's dead money between. But this situation right here, a three bet immediately after the pre-flop raiser, with no dead money between, take your notes. That's usually legit. People don't do that lightly because they don't have to when there's no dead money.
Hindi naman nananalo yung ace 8 eh.
You can flip that on its head. If you think someone's playing that meta game, then go ahead and do that with garbage. But I'm telling you, for the most part, people do not do that with garbage. So, Jay Padilla plays the queens the way they should be played. Take note, Raymond Chu. Re-raise to the queens. Good result with no flop. We are coloring up some chips, getting rid of the white ones. I believe the white ones are worth 5,000. Don't need those anymore as our blinds are. Oh, you know, we do need a white one. The blinds are 1530. I think they are just reducing the amount of white chips on the table, adding some pink ones. White chips are 5K. Gray chips are 10K. Pink chips are 50K. And players If they are behaving properly, we'll be stacking chips by 20s. And so you can use your own mathematics to figure out their stack sizes.
Twofold.
Joven, the oven toaster, hasn't really had a hand to play with since we started this final table stream. Final table of the Metro Weekend Special 400K guaranteed final day. Speaking of weekend special, we got a special weekend special, meaning it's a little bit more special than usual.
Fivefold.
This August 15 to 17, the weekend special will have 500K guaranteed, extra 100,000 for a buy-in of 2,200, multiple re-entries, starting chips 15,000, blind levels 30 minutes. You can play day one on Friday or Saturday, two flights on Saturday, one flight on Friday. Sunday is the final day,
Ninefold.
and that one is a 500K guaranteed because the weekend after that, the weekend of August 22,
Heads up.
that's the biggest one of the year, and maybe in Philippine poker history, biggest locally mounted tourney, the Philippine Poker Millions, plays at the Metro Card Club.
Nine check.
From August 20 onwards, you can take a shot at a 55 million peso guarantee.
Nine bets. 55,000.
Well, what do we got here? I guarantee you, Deck Cruz is going to be value owning himself as he attempts to bet his 8 for value. Going to get smooth called by Mondo as a weak ace. Just trying to get the showdown. And his line, of course, will be to flat call all the way.
Nine
And Deck
check.
Cruz should be check calling here if Mond wants to. Well, you know what? The only draw that missed is the diamond draw. So that is the only bluff
Ten
that Deck
bets.
Cruz can beat
120.
right now. A lot of other hands may have hit the ace or king. He's got the chip lead, really does not want to give the second chip leader any room to get closer to him, but I spoke too soon. Deck Cruz
Pair of ace.
obliges, and a thin value bet pays off for Raymond Chu, who moves up as Deck Cruz slides a little bit down.
Blinds, please.
See those 7 players remaining. The two in command were just in that hand. Deck has 2 million, Raymond has 1 million, and the rest of the tips are spread out in smaller distributions to the other 5 players. New Deal blinds are still 15,000, 30,000. Deck has the button, so in the blinds, Raymond Chu and the oven toaster. Under the gun with a premium hand. He's got about 14 bigs. How will Adrian play this? I think the most conservative play is also the most aggressive one.
Four raise.
Oh, we
120.
got one of those. Let me bet half my stack. That's
Fivefold.
about 100,000.
Sixfold.
120,000.
Sevenfold. Ninefold. Tenfold.
Those raises are the of the 1 foot in the grave variety. They bet half their stack, signifying the other one's coming no matter what. Oven toaster can only fold or shove here. But he does have 90K to call because he's in the big blind. He might want to speculate, but great instincts. The oven toaster, seeing that Adrian has just committed himself to that hand,
Blinds,
no
please.
need to give him extra 90. Great chip conservation. Conservation. Yeah, I almost said conversation. Great chip
Big blind.
conservation by the oven toaster.
Discount.
Action slow down a bit as we've lost two of the shortest stacks at the table. Bunch of guys in the midfield just trying to get into pole position. Junam Sik, one of them,
5
but
fold.
can't make a move with that one.
6 fold.
Padilia
7
can
fold.
call wide,
9
doesn't
fold.
open wide.
10 fold.
RBA can start folding the garbage hands. And now we are blind versus blind for the first time at this final table
Action.
stream. We'll see how this plays out. Open Toaster places out by flat calling. Adrian
Heads up.
just checking with an ace in hand. I think he could have taken that down. But he's playing it conservatively, wants to see a flop. Well, guess what?
2 check.
What
4
happens
check.
when you miss? And both players have missed this flop, but Adrian has turned an ace for himself and now is far ahead,
4
which
bets 30.
brings the
2
question to
fold.
mind, why did Oven Toaster bother completing the small blind with 6-5 offsuit?
Lines, please.
I guess he was trying to spike something funky, but there hasn't been anything funky since the 70s, and there was nothing funky on that board, so Oven Toaster had to give that one up. The action in the back, usually that would be the side event, a small mini main that plays out on the final day of the weekend special. Completely different tourney, but you gotta get in that if you're in the area. If you're feeling lazy on a Sunday afternoon, come to the Metro Card Club in Pasig.
6 fold.
And if you don't already know the game, learn the game. It's the safest place to learn the game, the Metro Card Club.
7 raise.
With
70,000.
pocket sixes and the +1 makes it 70,000. That Cruz suited Broadway hand,
9 fold.
playing this like a cash game. He's just flat calling in the hijack. Got the luxury of doing that, having 2 million chips, massively covering most other players. Now Mon resists temptation and gets out.
Fold.
It could be a no-brainer, but Adrian has to think about it. He can 3-bet shove here. It's a perfect situation. He's got a raise and a call already facing the action, which means there's dead money in the middle. Shove it to win 215 uncontested, but he's gonna take
165 total.
a slightly less aggressive line. It's still a 3-bet to 165, and I'm pretty sure he does not intend to fold.
7 fold.
RBA is out the way. Deck Cruz. You know what? He tries to bust people when it's chump change, but this is not chump change. He can take a call here, but flatting in a 3-bet pot, really not a good recipe. Well, that Cruz says, I make my own recipes. And he has cold called twice in the same hand. He's flat called RBA and he's reflatted on this 3-bet. He does have position on Adrian. Adrian spikes the ace with a diamond for a little bit of backup. That Cruz only has a gut shot and running spade out. Adrian is already ahead. Pot is 460.
Bet 150.
Wow, Adrian's try to milk this. Betting 150, leaving 210 behind. Almost never bluffing with this kind of bet size. He's begging to be called. And that Cruz 150 for a gut shot
Turn.
is really not a good price to pay, but he turns a spade. Now he's got a gut shot and a flush draw. And I think he's calling no matter what, and he should now. 210K behind is Adrian. He bets it into a pot of 760. Deck Cruz has to call with what he might think is 12 outs.
4 went all in.
Countdown.
Deck Cruz will ask for a count, but the math favors calling.
210 total.
Not saying he's going to hit it.
Yes.
And this could be the big pot Adrian's looking for. He got it all in
Nine
Little bit
calls.
at a time. There's the
Large.
call. Now Adrian has to dodge bullets. He's got to dodge these spades. Got to dodge the jack. Well, he's blocking one of the jacks. The other jack has been folded. Wow! It's a spade on the river just like that.
King high flush.
Adrian has been eliminated.
Bigat mo baka
Wow, he bet a little bit at a time, and that Cruz found the right calculation for his pot odds on the turn, made the call, and immediately rewarded hitting his draw. He started with a four outer. I didn't like that call, but on the turn, I loved it when he picked up the extra outs. And that Cruz has just busted Adrian
Flush,
Lumbera,
please.
and we are down to six players. Deck Cruz firmly in command, added 500,000 plus to his stack. He must be sitting on 2.6 or 2.7 about now. You make your own luck.
Hindi ko nga ito ace king. Hindi ko na. Hindi na naman po na. Sa flop, hindi na ako po.
They're saying they would have never called a flop. Uh, that Cruz.
Seven fold. Nine
Well,
fold.
there's only about 6.9 million chips in play, and Deck Cruz has about more than a third of that. In position to really drive this table.
Two fold.
There's folded around to the blinds. Junam Sik with ace jack offsuit. Blind versus blind. Let's see if he gets cute.
Five raise, 85,000.
Just 85,000. He's not shoving this to take it down. Wants to play post flop with a bigger pot if needed. Padilia, can he defend with 10-8 off, or can he turn defense into offense?
Kala ko yung hawak ng ganyan.
He covers
Akala ko
Junam
rin
Sik.
nilagay ng pala sa camera.
Six fold.
Makikita mo naman.
Junam Sik. A little bit of a sweat when Jay picked up his cards and put them back on the camera, on the RFID sensor. No cameras on this table. 4 minutes to go in this level, level 26. Blinds are 15,000, 30,000. You're watching the Metro Weekend Special. Final table, we started with 9 when the live stream began. Now we're down to 6.
Matawad ka ng prutas kay Jay.
Final 6 players out of the 464 that played.
Dagdagan mo. Di ba?
Magaling tong
Oo.
talaga eh. Talaga
Sales stock talaga eh. Oo.
Padagdag ng ubas.
Ano kita mo? Yung usapan nila, pwede prutas eh.
I'll tell you what though, the bets aren't budging. Open Coaster, Junam Sik, Padilia, RBA, these guys are just hanging on. Tough players.
Two fold. Nakausap eh. Nakausap. Naubos.
Pulled around to the button, looks like we're gonna go blind versus blind again unless Doom makes a move here.
Layo namin eh.
Kaya magkatabi.
Ano, kailangan konti lang pala hindi may 65.
Is he gonna make a move?
Five
With
raise,
6-2
65,000.
offsuit, he's made it 65,000. Button raise, if ever there was one. Padilia, flatting from the small blind with King 10 off.
Call seven
Ako sa
fold.
Facebook yung kinukuha.
Heads up. Flop.
Gonna put June to the test as he comes to the flop. 3-7-7. Neither player has anything. Junam Sik, you must bet this one. Except the texture is so bad, you're only gonna get called anyway. What's the point? Let's see. He fires a C-bet. J. Padilia, he must read the texture of this board as something that players cannot really hit. 7-3-7 rainbow.
Six
But if
fold.
he must float, it'll be out of position. He doesn't want to do it. And Junam Sik. Standard. Button race. C-bet. Take it down.
please.
Kanina,
See the chip
inaantok ako.
count there. Deck Cruz has 2.8
Ilang
out of
input,
6.9 million chips in play.
buti na lang narinig yung dasal ko nito.
I don't know what percent that is. It's
Tigers.
got to be almost 40% of all the chips in play. You're looking at those three guys, middle of your screen, left to right, Junam Sik, Padilia, RBA, Romel Atiga. They are tough nuts to crack. And Mond, who is second in chip command with 1.3 million, is now under the gun with pocket sixes. A lot of players in the recent meta
10 raise
are
80,000
now
total.
open folding this, but we are six-handed, and it's a different dynamic. So Mond races this one to 80,000.
Makikita mo naman.
Although there's still no hand to play with.
Twofold.
One good one bad one does not mean it's playable. Junam Sik, 10,
5-fold.
4 off, keep facing a
6-fold.
raise, he folds it. Padilia folds the weak ace. RBA has the strong ace. It's ace jack off, scoop from the small blind. Three bet is in order. Sometime.
Ako nung mag-champion ka
Let's see how RBA wants to play this.
7-fold.
Wow! Just folding it, and he is a genius. What happened? How does RBA fold that? Knowing deck, does he know deck Cruz has pocket kings? Because deck Cruz has pocket kings.
750.
And RBA just folded ace jack to single raise. And is now deck Cruz three betting. RBA must feel like a genius. I mean, I think he thinks he's a genius anyway, so he doesn't need to feel like a genius. But that's really the point. The point here, deck Cruz has three bet. And now Mond
10 seconds.
is facing the chip leader, the one player who can bust him. Really don't want to tangle in a three bet pot with the one player that can bust you when you're only holding pocket sixes. It's 170K to call, but he's only got 1.2. I say only because he's being asked to call about 10% of his stack, more than 10% of his stack. If he calls, pot will have more than 500,000. His SPR will be 2. Stack to pot ratio 2.
10-fold.
And it's not good for pocket sixes. I like to fold, but I love the fold by RBA. I think he got kicked under the table. How could he know that his ace jack was in trouble? I don't know, but he knew.
Blind stop.
That is a veteran fold. Fighter senses are on for RBA. And yeah, Deck Cruz is on a heater right now. Let's see if that heater continues. Usually, you don't want to get a heater at the final table until it's 4 or 3-handed. Don't want to peak too early. Come crashing down later. You want your cards to come right at the end. So these are the 6 players remaining.
Eto, uling tawad.
4 top cookies and 2
9-5.
rising, if not already risen stars.
Wala na, hindi na yung chip leader, huwag na magtanong.
Here's the Metro Team Pro player. Ruben Poster, we have not seen him play a single hand at the final table. You don't blame him. Quiet. He's been card dead. Junam Sik and stick off to in the hijack.
Kasi kanina katabi ko doon, kumuha 2 beses ng tig 10 eh. Totoo.
Ako bibigyan ko kasi may sit ako isa eh. May binigyan pala. Ano kayong ganyan?
But CTS, all the players are guaranteed satellite seats to the Philippine Poker Million.
Ayan, binding na. Panya matakin.
5 raise
Junam Sik
75,000.
getting frisky here. Makes a move on the hijack with a nothing hand. He did it before on the button. Now he's doing it on the hijack. He's going to run into trouble as Padilia has pocket queens right behind him. 3-bet June before. See if he changes the approach here.
6.
Up, still 3-bet.
kukunin yung ticket 10 ko, lumakas na.
It's a nice little re-raise.
May buyer na ako.
180,000.
7 fold.
Wala na,
9 fold.
binding na sila.
270. My bad. I misread the tip colors.
Para ano, next
10 fold.
A committing raise, and besides, June doesn't have anything. Gonna posture a little bit, but we all know
makikita.
June's not gonna lose his mind here.
Tapos yung bigla kang share shop.
Second time that Jay's 3-bet June's opener.
10 seconds.
10 seconds before June will fold.
5
This
fold.
is not worth spending a time bank on, so nice little pickup for Jay Padilia.
Mo yun ha, dalawang beses ha. Dalawang beses na 3-level. Yun din ang baraha ko. Hindi, yun din ang Yun din ang baraha ko kanina. Ay, ito.
Jay Padilia. He ain't lying. Telling the truth right there. He's 3-bet Junam Sik twice. Pocket king.
Happy na kukuha ka nun. Tama.
And with that, June is now the low man on the totem pole.
Ayun.
Much more active than Open Toaster. And yet they are in the same boat. Toaster being conservative. June trying and making passes with garbage cans.
Hindi, makikita niya naman. Tumatawad siya kanina.
5 fold.
And it offsuit, I like to call that hand the Merchandani
6
for
fold.
reasons few people understand.
7 fold. 9 fold.
Fold it around into blinds. We go blind versus blind.
Option.
I mean, I like to shove here because Open Toaster has not played a single hand. I don't like calling and letting him see a flop for free, because then he might get to make something happen.
2 raise.
At least a raise. But now Open Toaster has taken the cue here. He sees what he correctly perceives as a move when Mon does not raise the small blind, and now Open Toaster himself has raised. You can see they both have pretty awful hand.
10 fold.
But that's blind versus blind play, and the Metro Team Pro player prevails. You gotta have quite an arsenal in blind versus blind play because that's gonna happen as the final table comes down to less and less players. It's gonna happen a lot more, and if you don't know how to play blind versus blind, you are gonna get abused. Just like Open Toaster abused his experience there and turned it into a nice tot with nothing. But Jay Padilia is under the gun. Oh, by the way, the blinds have gone up. We are now 20,000, 40,000 with a 40,000 BBN. Pulled it to RBA in a hijack. He has raced with much less
7 raise. 80,000.
than ace three of hearts.
9 fold. 10
He makes it
fold.
80,000. And Open Toaster is back to his folding ways.
2
I
fold.
mean, you gotta love it. He's folding because he doesn't have to play, obviously. But when he had a garbage hand and saw a window of opportunity to make something out of it, he also did that. June, can he defend the big blind with Jack 10 offsuit? I say he can,
40 na lang ako.
5 gold.
and he does.
Heads up.
Opinion raised by RBA with the ace three of hearts.
5 check.
5, 6, 7.
7 check.
Not good for either player. RBA does not see bet this one now. The board is showing 5, 6, 7, 8. And who do we appreciate? We appreciate 2 flush draws. Diamond draw and spade draw has appeared. Neither player has that either.
140.
It's just ace high against jack high at this point. But players have checked on the flop. June takes the opportunity to bet his gut shot with 2 overs.
7 fold.
RBA gave up initiative. June takes it on the turn. Again, standard play that pros make. Take note.
Please.
Great line by June there,
I do yung 5-7 week.
taking advantage of the pre-flop raiser giving up on the flop. And he's taking that away with jack high. Good poker action coming to you from this final table of the weekend special
Sarap
at the
tignan.
Metro
Pag
Card
kasama
Club.
si Butlog, yung ganito palagi yung lasa ng kape. Sasabay ako palagi.
Wala ka sumuli.
You've seen players really attack
Pangit na yung tsura ko eh.
the openings that are given to them, whether or not they actually have a hand.
Sabi niya rin kasi, di ba?
Napakapait ang puto.
And
7 fold.
25
Napakapait naman ng
of this
panlasa mo.
live stream. It's folded around to deck
Nine
Cruz, who
raise,
should be
100,000.
attacking anytime it's folded around to him, and he does there.
9 fold.
Makes it 100,000 with K9. Closer. Opportunity here for a 3-bet, just because his image is so solid, he can get away with it.
Tight talaga. Oh, grabe naman ang tight dito.
Gusto ko, mahatman ako sa iyo mapatay ko.
Junam Sik has a similar opportunity as he has an ace in hand. He actually dominates that Cruz's hand. He's a small blind. You might not want to flat.
Hindi lang natin para
Much.
hindi tayo bilawan. Sinulot yung ticket dalawa.
Oh, it's worth making a move with.
Siyempre, galit ka eh.
Sampu ba sa'yo?
Siyempre.
Oh, shot box up. He owes a time bank card and he must decide.
Pusang nga lang eh. Ano ka pa? 310. Ay, pusang nga
Makes it
lang.
310,000.
5 re-raise,
That is
310,000 total.
a nice play there.
6 fold.
There's a giveaway there, though. He is trying to bet with a small chip. This classic review of Red or Phil Gordon's little green book from ages past. He will tell you that players who are betting the small chips are usually weak. And you saw Junam Sik do it just there.
9 fold.
Makikita nyo sa Facebook. May solo ticket pa eh. Makikita nyo sa Facebook. Naman sabihin, race na lang.
Some tells never expire.
Change
Would be
dealer.
good for players
Sa akin
to
ulit.
know all of those. As they're still reliable after 50 years
May race ka basta sa
because it's human nature.
Priority.
Mama ka, kape, kape. Kape, kape, kape.
May asukang na to.
Kaya ako ha?
Ang tight mo eh. Nire-race eh. Nire-race ng 300. Tapos sabi, nasalot daw yung ticket.
Pag may nagtikim ng kape mo,
Junam Sik loosening up and profiting for it. He's loosening up at the right time. We are only 6 players remaining. But these are dangerous players. Any one of them could catch that Cruz. Nolan Toaster can get on a run.
pag ano,
Padilia with his on and off, shuffling between loose and tight play. You might call it erratic, but it works.
pangilang ka ba sa leaderboard yun? Pangalawa?
Baka.
Pangalawa ka?
Hindi ko pa nag-50. Alam ko, nauna sa natin.
9 fold. 10 fold.
Nino? Ni?
2 fold.
Wow. Oven Toaster cannot pick up a hand. Meanwhile, Junam Sik picks up a real one. Ace King offsuit folded to him on the button. Make this look like a button race
Para sa akin,
so that you can get re-raised.
All in. 5 all in.
Junam Sik with another classic tell, the old speech before you shove. And this will be much ado about nothing as RBA is going to call this with the same hand. He also has Ace King offsuit. This will be a battle of the suits if RBA gets in there. He gets in there. These cards play themselves. June is
7 all in.
all in with Ace King. RBA is all in with Ace King.
May mananalo. May mananalo.
And they have all 4 suits represented. See there? 4 clubs come or 4 spades come. June will bust RBA. And hearts and diamonds favor RBA doubling up. For the most part, this will be a chop, but let's see drama.
Yan na yung tatlong pare-parehas. Ayun o.
Wala item. Wala
No drama as the flop comes rainbow. This is now a guaranteed chop.
Lagi tuloy yan.
Players will just split the blinds and antes. Let's get it going. Turn river and move on to the next hand.
Ganun din oh. Baduy, baduy. 9, 10, clubs, spade. Baduy, baduy. Changing.
Small gain for both. And more importantly for Junam Sik, they saw he was raising the button with the ace king offsuit, which can open the door for him to raise with much less later if he can make it look like it's ace king, like speech before you shove. Do it with garbage, you might get respect. RBA. Thought he caught June there, but nope. They had the same hand, and we move on to the next. We see a lot of pocket queens tonight. This time one has it for the second time in 27 hands. Pocket queens under the gun. This gentleman has the second most chips in play, 1.1 million. 48 call, he will not call. He races to 110,000. Oven Toaster gets away from the weak ace. Junam Sik.
5 fold, 6 fold.
No good. Padilia not gonna go on a ride. RBA folds the weak Broadway hand, and Cruz with 7-5 offsuit likewise folds. Minimum win for the pocket queens, but a win nonetheless, as you see Mon moving up, and the players stuck in the midfield, all of them below the average stack. Lines are 20-40, they all have over 10 bigs. Six players remain. The action will start from under the gun. Oven Toaster continues to be card dead.
2 fold.
He's been folding all night. Why stop now? Junam Sik, meanwhile, has been a bit more frivolous,
5 fold.
but this one he's going to say no to. Padilia suited King 5 of hearts, folded to him in the cutoff. I can see him opening here.
6 raise.
And open he does for 100,000.
8 fold.
That Cruz with the offsuit 10-7 in the small blind.
Ano ba to? 9 at 10.
Cutoff is the new button as Padilia has gotten folds so far. The Cruz can soul read Padilia's cutoff raise. It will be a 3-bet. Soul read it is. 3-betting with 10 high. He makes it 320,000 total. Jay cannot withstand this, but we might see a real baller move if he can come back and 4-bet this. 320 commits what's left of his stack. He's 220 to call.
6 fold.
What instincts by Cruz. For whatever reason, he picked up what he needed to pick up there. A read and a pot. Wow, play over play happening there. RBA might miss this hand if he's not back at his seat. And you can see the dealer taking it away. He is going to miss this hand. Junam Sik under the gun with Queen 6 off suit.
5 fold. 6 fold.
Jay also folds. RBA, of course, is out of the hand, not being at his seat. That Cruz with a mystery hand.
110.
Let's see him raise it. He is on the button and he comes in raising. 90K. No, 110 is the raise. 90K to call for Mon in the small blind. And Open Toaster continues to be card dead. But let's see if he sees an opportunity here. Nope. He shows them exactly what he's been folding for the last 30 hands. 29, actually. Owen Toaster has played exactly one hand at this final table stream, and it was a blind versus blind situation where he took down a pot. Everything else has been a foldathon for the Oven
Ako lang,
Toaster.
ako lang. Ako lang, ako lang. Hindi, ako lang.
You're still watching the live stream of the final table of the Metro Weekend Special coming to you from the Metro Card Club in Pasig City. No surprise as Jay Padilia folds under the gun. It's queen for all. RBA gives up a lot of toxic waste being dealt on the table. Look at these cards, man. 7 deuce, 5 deuce, now 8-4 offsuit.
9, 10, raise, 110.
I like to see action. Well, you're going to see it as Mond raises from the button with 8-4 offsuit. When Toaster has been in a folding mood, so why not keep raising and taking? Junam Sik also gives up and easy takedown for Mon there. Talk about your classic button raises. Do it with any two cards if you feel that the blinds are more than willing to be folding. So Mon took advantage of that. Blinds are still 20,000, 40,000 with a 40,000 BB ante. Will be that way for 10 more minutes. RBA with ace-5, the offsuit wheel hand.
7.
Plays pretty badly from under the gun, so he gives it up. That Cruz closing in on 3 million chips. Remember, there's only 6.9 million chips in play.
9, 12.
And he's continuing to build, mixing it up. This time limps in from the hijack for 40,000. Why? We'll find out what he's thinking. Owen Toaster sees the limp in front of him. He's on the button with King 9 of hearts. Why did that Cruz limp? Also, they've seen me fold everything for the last 30 hands. Hand 31, Owen Toaster, if he finally raises, might win the pot just out of principle, but he's not going to take a shot there.
5,
And you
12.
miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
3 players.
Junam Sik limps his small blind in along, and Jay Padilia checks his option. We are three ways here, 160K in the pot.
5,
10,
10,
8,
6 sec.
7. Rainbow, beautiful action because Deck Cruz has top pair with a gut shot.
9,
Jay
10.
Padilia has top pair with an inferior kicker, and Junam Sik has bottom pair. Little something for everybody here.
5,
Could get bloody, but Junam Sik does not want to get involved. Why did he limp in? If he does not want to get involved when he hits it. Anyway, that's a story he can tell you.
heads up.
Expectedly, Jay Padilia has check called with his top pair weak kicker. And with that brick on the turn, he might check call another street. That Cruz gonna want to go to Value Town here. He's getting called by any hand with a 10, an 8, or a 9 in it, so he keeps the pressure going. Jay Padilia, can he check call into oblivion? He check raises.
Oh, it's gone.
And Deck Cruz has to think about this. How much more he can call if it seems like it's a little bit more on top of what he's already raised. But if it's a lot, this could work because Deck Cruz might not be committed with his jack kicker and gut shot.
3,
The
4,
truth is, though, that Jay Padilia has the inferior hand and needs to improve on the river, but Deck doesn't know this.
295.
295 more to call. Pot is 1 million. He might have to make this call. Have chips will travel. Wow, what a move by Jay Padilia. But this is a move like, what did he play? Some random two pair hand? That Cruz has no information because he didn't raise pre-flop. So 100% of Jay Padilla's range is flopping that 10-8-7. I'm not saying he's hitting 10-8-7. I'm saying 100% of everything he could have possibly been dealt. And you got to narrow it down to what check calls. And De Cruz has figured it out. He thinks he's ahead, and he is correct. Jay Padilla, his tournament life is on the line with this awful kicker. They both have top pair. He needs to hit one of those two remaining fives, two outer, with one card to come.
First tournament.
Just on the left is fine, sir.
Top pair.
Top pair called by Ted Cruz, he plays Jack of suit. Top pair with iron kicker. To say it's a fight.
Not an easy call to make, but De Cruz made it anyway. So he is. Oh, well, somebody hits two pair, and it's not Jay Padilla. So De Cruz plus Jay Padilla. We are down to five players, and De Cruz now has well over 3 million chips. Jay Padilla busts with a 18,000 peso prize and a satellite seat to the Philippine Poker Millions happening on August 20 at the Metro Card Club.
One big blind.
So many ways to get your seat. You can play on GG Poker, you can play on X Poker, both of them online opportunities. You can play the Prime Poker Club, Wild Aces, Masters Poker, Metro. A lot of players selling seats. They already have multiple seats. And just look into it and get into the action this August 20 onwards. The Philippine Poker Millions will be playing at the Metro Card Club. Okay, just got word. We are at hand 32. There will be an adjustment on our graphic reader module. You might have to take a 5-minute break to sort this out. So you can take your 5-minute break and rejoin the action. But keep it on because we will stay live even as we take a break right now.
Nadidehydrate na nga ako eh. Wala pa 2 tables eh. Yoshi natin, meron ka?
May ano ako dyan, 12 pesos contribution ako dyan.
Ayun naman o. Grabe namang stock yun. Kahit pagsama-samahan nyo sa kanila. Opo. Sama-samahan. Marami pa rin sa akin.
5 minutes kami. Kailangan.
3 million.
Pwede ako umihi.
Wait lang.
Sige, pwede. 5 minutes.
Break muna.
Ano, alis muna ako. Saglit. Ano yan?
Sunday hustle to players. Please proceed to your seats. Weekend special tournament players. Please stand back to your seats.
Okay na. Ni pa ata nung seat 6. Wala. tinatanggal na yung ribbon.
Once again, Sunday also, and weekend special to players. Please advance your seats.
Tas the bottom na. Tatlong milyon. 3, 4, 5, 3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.612.
Diyan ka pala.
Karating mo.
Hindi pa po last call. Hindi na yung last call. Diretso. Last pa.
Ni-raise mo, baka pumlas mo siya. Tapong kaming dalawa. Double up ka kayo.
Hindi, kahit last kami na. Double up. Minimum double up.
Okay na? Tara na.
Go heads up.
Whatsapp na lang kami ni Boss Dog.
Ayan yung 9.
Ikaw ang star.
Ganon? Ganon ba?
Once again, Sunday
Payag naman si Dick kahit wala siya, kahit mabawasan niya. So, kita mo?
Lang naman yun.
Oo.
Oo, 24 pa rin.
Oo.
Sakto pa ako big blind.
Ay, ako pala yung big line.
Oo.
Ayop 3 million.
Hindi pa na pinapagalaw yung oras.
Lahat ng race mo, tapong kami. 3 million yun.
Meron laban. Pag meron lang,
Malaki.
no?
Pwede naman pumalag eh.
Sao. Hindi ko titiklop ang aces ha.
Kings, no?
Hindi na rin, hindi na rin. Yung dalawa lang yun.
We resume the action at the final table of the weekend special.
Ace king yung plus.
400K guaranteed from the Metro Card Club and the Cruz. They were just talking that they were saying lahat ng race mo tapon kami because he has 3.6 million in chips. Well, he is starting the resumption of action with a raise as he has ace king off suit. He's firmly in command, more than half the chips in play. Nobody has a hand to call with so far. RBA in the big blind. He will defend with the Merchandani. 10-8 offsuit. He calls the extra 60K. Off to the flop we go. 2 jack, 2 couple of diamonds on the board. This is a good board for deck Cruz, as not a lot of holdings in RBA's range will hit this.
8 bet,
RBA will donk into this one.
100.
And I wonder if Deck Cruz has been paying attention when I say over and over that donking the flop is a blocker. In this case, it's a stone cold bluff. And the response should be to raise it, but by calling, he's committed RBA. 640, jack, jack, deuce, deuce. RBA, does he ever donk bet with a jack in that scenario? No. He donks bet nothing and draws, and this is what Deck Cruz might have figured out. He called the flop. He should be calling here.
7 odd.
Or is he going to change his mind if he feels like he was calling the flop because he was ahead of RBA's range, which included a lot of draws? Then he's still ahead of that. But of course, he's ultimately calling with ace high. And a daring move by RBA. If Deck Cruz cannot put this puzzle together, it is going to work. He did call on the flop, so you know that his instincts are on. He just needs to trust them. Cut out the 330. I like cutting out the chips for calling as a way to see the reaction of your opponent. I wonder if Deck Cruz is doing it for that very reason. He now owes a time bank. Must decide. He has 3 more time banks, so he actually has a minute and a half to decide. But I thought he had decided on the flop. Apparently not. 330, he will still have 3 million if he gets this wrong, but RBA will chip up to over 1 million. That Cruz really needs to trust his instincts. That is why he is still thinking about this. This would be a top tier call if Deck Cruz can make it. In high, stone cold bluff from the veteran RBA. There are only draws that Deck Cruz can beat. Yes, he makes the hero call. RBA is now drawing to spike some kind of chop with a jack or a deuce, or hit a 10 or an 8 to win by the river. Did he make the wrong move at the right time? We will find out. His tournament life is on the line with currently 10 high. Deck Cruz with a spectacular read there. It took a while, but he got it right. He has called RBA all in with only ace high.
8 to save the tournament. That's scenario.
Oh my lord! The river gives RBA a 10. It was the wrong move, a disaster, but at the right time, and now he is actually doubled up quite by accident. And you make your own luck. In that case, RBA bought himself a 10 with just guts and a willingness to push. Great call by Deck Cruz, but better river for RBA. Well, he had him where he wanted him, but somehow he got away, and now RBA has 1.3 million. He might have more chips than Mond right now. How about your accidental double up? Such is the nature of poker tournament play.
Two-fold.
Parang ako 5,000 pati
Five-fold.
Let's race to 140. RBA might want to take a break. He's already used his one time there. And one takes this one down uncontested. That Cruz has chipped down to 2.9. RBA chipped up to 1.3. And Junam Sik and Oven Toaster still bringing up the rear. We are 5 players left in this final table of the Metro Weekend Special.
Ah.
Ayan na. Mga pag-asa ng bayan.
Dealer change, and Junam Sik thinks it's going to favor him.
Titigan ko.
Tapos branch ng sarapin niya, kahit na. Kakatabi.
Sampo. Magkakatabi.
Try to check in on your comments on the Facebook feed. You can also watch this on YouTube live, which means if you watch on YouTube, you can actually scroll the action back. Something you can't do on Facebook. Yeah, I gotta jump to the comments section after that spectacular call and even better river.
Two-fold. Five-fold. Seven-fold.
Folded round, blind versus blind. That Cruz has got ace jack offsuit. And keeping it simple there.
Ito po yung kasama.
Mon is gonna fold his dead man's hand.
Hindi. All in. Ace king, ace queen lang. Ace
And a good evening to Fisherman Mark. Saw you at the final table last week. Missing you this time. That's your comment. And shout out to all the viewers. You're still watching the final 5 players in what was almost the Deck Cruise show. But Romel Atiga, aka RBA, foiled that party. And now we have Junam Sik under the gun after a dealer change, gets a couple of pink cards. This is what he was hoping would happen when the dealer change happened. King Queen offsuit under the gun. Junam Sik is going to open. Blinds are 30,000, 60,000 with a 60,000 BB ante. He opens for 120. And it's folded all the way around to the Oven Toaster, who continues to be spectacularly card dead. We are now going to enter hand 36, and the Oven Toaster has played two of them. What is that? That is like VPIP 6%.
Tagan na natin.
O, bayan na namin sa inyo yung blind.
Ayaw, ayaw.
Galing nila sumulsul pagka marami silang stock. Pagka marami silang stock, galing nila sumulsul.
Too early to talk chop here, especially with the Oven Toaster having a dwindling stack and no cards in sight. RBA under the gun, King 4 off into the muck.
Sinulsul tayo.
The Cruz
Nakita to.
also slowing down here. Oven Toaster blind versus blind situation.
Hindi mo pa nakita yan.
And this time he's all in. That's what I like to see.
Ba't tinanulok ni Jun?
assume a Jack 4 cannot call this, which means Open Toaster will chip up, having played his third hand out of 36.
Tatlong kulin eh.
Pwede naman eh.
See the stacks there. Open Toaster bringing up the rear with 10 bigs. And Deck Cruz having 50 bigs to his name.
Antay mo.
Break time.
Hindi, wala pa ako. Antayin ko pa to eh. Bago ako sa... Ay,
Pinaantay ka pa eh. Samantalang sa akin, eto na oh. Oh. Ha? Ito na nga eh, oh, 9-5.
Waiting for signal.
Action resumes.
Ito naman. Yung nga nag-out sa'yo, binigay mo pa.
One's got a suited Broadway hand in the cutoff. Ace 10 of clubs.
Kung saan yung binili yan, hindi ko kukulin yun.
10 raised to 150. 150.
So he opens for, wow, Open Toaster. When is he going to get a playable hand? He's waiting for that right moment to peak. It better happen before he runs out of chips. Meanwhile, no one is calling this race by Mont. Let's see if RBA will defend his big blind with 9-5 offsuit. Of course, he will not. And no contest as it's taken down.
Laki pala ng pay jump. 7,000 yung pay jump. Boss Job, ang daming mang ganyan, 7,000.
Ang lambot ka nga, naka-reverse rin na lang Diyos eh.
That time of the tourney, when you're talking pay jump,
Naiinig ka yun.
ICM possibility.
Alam niya, kuho na sa ano yan, sa bangka.
Grabe oh.
Nabasa mo, nagmura sa isip eh, no? Yun din nakita ko eh.
Wala namang ganun. Yan, huwag ka maniwala.
Wala, wala, totoo.
Puro mga pocket player to eh, kaya puro table.
Napamura si Jun sa isip
Wala
eh.
na, tinitilt nila ako para, alam mo na,
10 fold.
pag natilt ako, wala na eh. Wala nang, grabe naman kayo, tinitilt niyo
2
ako.
fold.
Alam niyo yung pagka natilt ako, nagre-race ako ng 130.
Raised to
He's going
130.
to race to 130.
Pag natitilt lang.
7 fold.
Oh, yun, natilted.
Oh, that Cruz fires right back at him, all in. And Junam Sik just donated 130 to the cause of that Cruz. He wasn't lying there. That was a steam raise.
kita mo naman sa Facebook. Opo.
That Cruz say you'll see later. You'll see it was pocket nine.
Waiting for sit 2. 2 fold. 5 raised to 130. 7, 9 fold. All
Inaasa
fold.
nga kami. Inaasa.
Abangan lang natin sa labang. Ako baka lumaban eh.
All right, an eventful last couple of hands. 40th hand of the final table stream. We see 20 minutes left at this level. Still watching the Metro Weekend Special 400k guaranteed final table. Down to the top 1% of the field. 464 players entered, 5 remain. Junam Sik trying to make things happen once again under the gun. Another 130. RBA choosing only to call here, which opens the door for Oven Toaster
All in.
to go all in, facing a raise and a flat call in the big blind. This is the move, and it's a pro squeeze by Oven Toaster. He is currently smashed by the pocket sevens of RBA. Can he make this call? Oven Toaster's image is super tight and it pays off. 17 years of folding throughout this final table, and that pays off as the Oven Toaster gets maximum respect when he goes all in. RBA threw away the winning hand, and Oven Toaster moves up to 890. It's now Junam Sik bringing up the rear. Junam Sik looking more and more antsy with every passing hand. And with that pickup by the Oven Toaster, you gotta watch out. He might get a groove going. That is rock solid right there. Hold the trim on the button. Raymond Chu
10 raised to
gonna raise. Never mind the Jack 7 offsuit. It's a button raise to 140. Oven Toaster with a suited 10-8 of diamonds. Trust me, he's aware of what his image is perceived to be, and he will use it during the opportune moment. Junam Sik, King 5 offsuit, no can defend. And another uncontested pot to Mond, Raymond Chu. Ace behind that Cruz, bringing up second place. Shout out to anyone watching on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do to support the Metro Card Club. Because your support of the Metro Card Club supports the entire Philippine poker community. And I'm not just talking about players. The entire community. Deck Cruz under the gun with 9-3 offsuit.
9 fold.
He didn't get here playing garbage.
10 fold.
Owen Toaster folded him on the button. Opportunity here. Might be the first opportunity for him to
2 fold.
raise, but he passes on it. We'll leave it to a blind versus blind battle between Junam Sik and RBA. Of course, team's going to make a move. He's made a lot of moves tonight. On the button, under the gun. Garbage gold, he makes the moves.
5-0.
Has been 3-bet a few times, but it's worked enough for him to hang on here. RBA seeing right through that Junam Sik is playing very wide, and so RBA thinks King 4 can deal with some of that range.
Check.
Junam Sik checks, license to shoot for RBA. He doesn't shoot.
Card.
They both check on the flop. This opens the door for June to retake initiative. He doesn't. 2 checks on 2. What is RBA waiting for? 2 checks on 2 streets. And now they are chopping. They are chopping, but they both don't want to go to showdown with King High, so first man to bet wins. Junam Sik will bet. And can RBA make a hero call or a hero raise? Tried to defend with King 4 off. He missed 2 opportunities. June checked the flop, checked the turn. Both of them were opportunities for RBA to take away the pot. He did not take advantage, and now he's facing a bet of 190. And June just got away with that one. He did have the better hand, but RBA had superior position. So June chips up. RBA chips down for his trouble there. Just like that, Romel went from second to last in the running of the current 5 players. Down but not out. Let's see if he can rally from here. The Cruz had him dead to rights. This is actually his second lease on life, as he had survived an earlier confrontation that should have had him hitting the rail. Toaster with the Wally Sombrero hand. Junam Sik. Watch him make a speech before he races here.
Five raised to 160.
He's in a different mood. Quietly raises from the button with Ace King of Hearts.
All in 9-4.
RBA walking into this one. He decides to 3-bet shove with Ace 10 off. Insta call from Junam Sik. And this is where we are. Junam Sik is covered, so June is. No, he has RBA covered. He will have 50K untouched if he should lose the 10. So here's where we sit. RBA all in with Ace 10 offsuit, all in for his tournament life. Junam Sik covers him and dominates him with his Ace King of Hearts. RBA needs a 10 to survive. He hit it on the river before. Will he hit it again? How many one times can one player have? We'll see. Uneventful flop. The Ace King still ahead. And now some chop outs. A 3 and a 6 will chop it. A 10 will win it for RBA. Oh my lord. Much ado about nothing. And once again, the 2 players chop. Second time, one time for RBA. He survived yet again. He may be destined to win the whole thing.
Sabay mo ba to? Sisigaw-sigaw ka?
Hindi, nagulat na ako doon.
Pagka hindi taga rito.
It is immortal.
Dito ko sa tabi mo, sinigawan mo ako eh.
He is the dragon that will not be slain.
Dalang, dalang.
Malapot, malapot. 3 lives lang pwede, di ba? Nagamit ng dalawa.
Dalawa na.
Nagamit ng dalawa. Isa pa.
Champion to.
That's 2 one times.
Kilo.
Napatapang mo si Romel eh.
Champion na to. Kasi patay na eh. So,
Lalo na yung kanino, yung 10-8. Yun yung
He is dead man sitting.
champion.
Yung 10-8.
Hindi siya yan, papenta.
Soli na natin kandila. Sulian na ng kandila. Pinagkagawa nito, walang silbi.
Open Toaster's under the gun with Queen 8 offsuit. He's folded the whole time. Junam Sik coming off what should have been a nice little pot for him. Instead, had to settle for only 60,000.
150.
Ilang orbits yan?
Raise this one to 150. RBA is out of the way. That Cruz can 3-bet if he picks up weakness. Junam Sik has raised a lot of late position, quite wide. But this one he's giving up, and it's a win for June. A little bit of
Gumaganti si Becca.
a rebate. Up to 1 million chips. So you can hear the players referring to RBA as maybe destined to win it. 2 instances he should have been gone, but he is still here. The Cruz unable to finish him off. Likewise, Junam Sik unable to finish him off. June under the gun. Queen deuce off.
Kumpare mo yan.
5-4.
RBA with a weak wheel hand. But it's folded from the cutoff. It's got an ace in hand. He makes it 150 to go. The blinds were 30-60, by the way. That Cruz with ace-7 off. He is going to come along for this ride. He's calling with the ace-7 off on the button. The open toaster can not be involved in this hand with this awful of a holding. Would have been a nice squeeze opportunity.
Heads up.
We are heads up. This is a chop a lot of times, with both players having an ace and a weak kicker. 6, 8, 10. A gut shot for Deck Cruz. Will RBA continue? It is quite a little bit wet.
200.
6, 8, 10, 2 hearts on the board. RBA continues on the flop for 200,000. Deck Cruz. Will he float? We like raising our gut shots. And so does Deck. He is raising this gut shot.
520.
Testing the C bet, see if it is what he thinks he is. RBA pretends to be committed with that bet size, but he is actually not. And Deck Cruz takes that away from him. Down to 500,000 chips. And Deck is up to 3.5. A roller coaster ride for Romel Atiga. And the ride is not over. If he's on this low, there will be another high coming up if he hangs on.
Then raise to 130.
Well, looks like Mon is raising 100% of his buttons if it is folded to him. Seen him do it with a hand as bad as 8-4 offsuit. He's doing it now with 6-5 offsuit. And it's going to work out. I mean, if you watch the way that Oven Toaster has been folding almost the entire time at this final table, he might as well make a living out of his blind.
Sa'yo na.
Hindi naman mapupunta sa akin yun.
Sa akin.
Pinakukuha lang yan.
Yung sabi niyo.
Parang hindi ko matanggihan lang yung matanda.
Wala naman.
Sabi mo.
Konti na lang. Oo, pwede yung gano'n sa tatlo. Pwede mo pala piliin mo sa 55 mo sa 10.
Mon, isabay mo na, 9-5. Ito naman parang, hindi naman sa akin mapupunta yan. Kung sa mga
9 fold.
Nadiwili na.
10 fold.
nabibili lang ako.
Pull around to the Oven Toaster on the dealer button.
Tatanungin ko muna yung manager
2
ko.
fold.
He's got more than 10 bigs, and he gives that one up. Junam Sik. I think he should just be shoving pretty widely into RBA here. Blind versus blind. So he does shove that one, Queen Jack, against the Jack 10. These two have been all in against each other twice so far. Both times they have chopped. And this one goes to June uncontested. RBA gives up the blinds and ante. This is getting down to the nitty gritty. RBA down to 6 big blinds.
Pero muna lang ako.
He's been unkillable so far. Let's see if someone's actually going to try to get him now that he's down to 380.
Pwede pala.
Big look at the clock there. We're trying to get the clock up here on the screen. There we go. We got it. Up on the left, upper left side of your screen.
10 fold.
Raymond Chu under the gun will not play King Jack off suit, and Owen Toaster will not play 5-3 off. June on the button. Can open pretty wide. He's done it
5 fold.
with worse, but he's not doing it here. It's going to be blind versus blind. RBA, of course, is all in, and I think that Cruz should be calling very wide here, especially with a suited 10-7. RBA is shoving, I think, like 90 to 95% of his range will be all in this blind versus blind type of situation, and a stack this short. Deck Cruz once again has the opportunity to try to bust RBA, but that's never worked out so far tonight. He's going to take another crack. The king high of RBA is ahead, but his tournament life is at risk. He is actually statistically behind because of the cards that have been folded. The 10-7 stands to hit and win 54% of the time here. He's been in worse situations as RBA. All he needs to do is for the board to brick away, or even better, he can hit the king to be way ahead. Deck is going to need running clubs, running straight, or running two pair. He could be drawing dead by the turn. He is not. He can spike a club to hit a flush. Otherwise, RBA doubles up, having used yet another one time. The river does not deliver enough. It only pairs Deck Cruz 10. Not enough to beat RBA with the king. He will chip up once again to 800,000. RBA, let's nickname him the Highlander because he's looking immortal right now. People have been swinging at him left, right, and center, but they cannot decapitate this player. So we are still 5 players left at this Metro Weekend Special final table. See some repeat performers here from the last few weeks alone. Junam Sik returning to the final table. And Deck Cruz. The Owen Poster in a few bubble situations in previous weeks. He's now at the final table as well. Although you wouldn't feel it because he hasn't really been dealt a hand. Well, he's got an ace in hand. He's under the gun. But he does have more than 10 bigs. What is the Owen Toaster going to do here? He makes the, believe it or not, the safer play because you don't always walk into queens. Except this time, pocket queens. Makes an appearance in Junam Sik's hand. Should be an insta call here. Well, the fact that he hasn't called, I call slow roll because he's never folding pocket queens ever in a spot like this.
5 all in. 7, 9, 4.
Yeah, Junam Sik all in right behind Owen Toaster. Bad news for Owen Toaster. Wow, wait a minute. Hold the phone. Mon has ace king off. He gets out of the way. He will not play that one. He will let the Owen Toaster duke it out with Junam Sik. He's in bad shape. He's got a 3 outer currently. 2 outer because Mon folded one of the aces. Well, if Owen Toaster had not made this move, it would have been June against Raymond. Pretty much they would get their chips all in. Because Owen Toaster beat them to the pot, Raymond gets a pass. He gets to dodge this bullet. Jack 10-8, no help for the ace. Owen Toaster cannot flush anymore. He might go runner straight, but then, you know, something could fly out of my rear end as well. Still a blank. He needs one of the remaining 2 aces. Only that will help him, or else the Owen Toaster is out of here. He finishes in fifth place, eliminated by Junam Sik, who had pocket queens.
Fifth place,
And
Junam
Open
and
Toaster could
RBA.
not find an ace to pair with, and then there were four. Four players remain as we lose the Metro Team Pro player in fifth place.
May ganun.
Got
Kung
ourselves
marami
this
yun eh.
final four. We are going to go to a scheduled break. You see the clock winding down. I don't know if they're even going to play one deal here.
Sangan pa. Ay, sangan pa.
Break na eh. Tangan.
Sangan.
Okay, they're play. You got to play one hand and then take a break. And if this
Mukhang
hand takes a long time,
60 pa lang.
they might eat into this 10 minute break. Let's see how this hand plays out.
Pinakita ko. Kung wala ka, pulled ako. Ay, pulled ako.
Siya, set up kayong dalawa, di ba?
Oo. Matay ako sa'yo.
Yep, that would have been Edmund out of here if Open Toaster had passed on his
Magkano
ace
tip mo
3.
nun, Jun? Nung bumol ka sa kanya, magkano sa 800? 800? Matitira sa akin, 300.
Hindi, mga one stop.
Yeah, Edmund would have been crippled.
Talaga ako.
And that's the way poker plays out. You know, a lot of it boils down to player whims. Sometimes Open Toaster plays with ace 3, sometimes he doesn't. And
Si Romel lang po.
just based on which option he takes, it dictates how the rest of the tournament flows.
Para sa ito.
Back to the stand under the gun. RBA, the unkillable, the Highlander, once again in a battle as he's got pocket fives. He is all in. Will Deck Cruz trying to bust him? He keeps trying, keeps failing. Maybe he should stop trying. He's got ace-6 of diamonds. I want to say only ace-6 of diamonds because RBA has some aces in his shoving range at this point because it's 820k. It's more than 10 bigs. So Deck Cruz could be dominated by some of this range. Right now, he's actually behind to the fives, behind to all pairs, behind to all hands that have an ace. Not so sure about this one. You're right, it is borderline. It's actually south of the border, but Deck Cruz makes that call anyway. Fold one of the aces. Junu fold the other ace. Oops. Bad news.
May alas ako, may alas yan.
Bad news. June is also folded, so Deck Cruz must hit a 6 to finally bust RBA. Otherwise, he's going to double him up. And Romel Atiga is poised to go into the break with 1.8 million chips. If he can just dodge a 6 or that case ace in the deck. There's a diamond, no help for Deck Cruz. RBA looking good. 4 out, 3 sixes or a case ace. That will be quite a target to try to hit. One card to come, RBA. He's going to go all the way up to 1.8 million chips from being close to dead 3 times previously. We go into a break, and I'll give you the chip counts when we resume. The Highlander has done it again.
Ilang one time yun? Hoy! Kaya din ako nangyayari, nagpalam na ako para sa'yo. Nasa 10 yung baga. Yung ano, yung bulalo. Huwag ka kumain. Kasi baka... Huwag ka kumain. Kapilin mo muna. Bulalo. Kapilin mo muna. Huwag kumain. Kaya nga ako nagpaang dahil para sa iyo lang. Ayaw masira yung gusto ko mag-final ka. Kano yun? Ay, ito. Paborito mo ito eh. Paasim yan. Alam mo naman yung paborito natin yan. Paborito natin yan. Kaya ako nagpa-out dahil naramdaman kita. Naramdaman kita. Ayaw ko masira yung laro ito eh. Bulalo. Amaw. Advance ko na dito sa kanya. Advance ko na. Minister sa atin. Ito din yung gago. Oo, mawala naman. 5% ko. Puntaan ka. Kumakas ko na makuha ko sa'yo.
Wala table.
Kumakas ko na makuha ko sa'yo. Ayos na.
Mas maganda wala kang pizza. Mas maganda yan. Dadami yan, dadami.
Uy, 12,000 yung ticket niyan. Isipin ka na. Dalawa. So, bumili tayo para makapag. Bumili tayo. Kasi pag naging naaray, mas malaking ticket.
Bago yung ano yun, training.
Yung ano.
Operator.
Wala na siya, no? Yung isa yun.
Yolo?
Oo. Tanggal niya.
Hindi.
Umalis.
Umalis siguro.
Pagtapos kasi, rekta laro.
Ha?
Pagtapos, rekta 10-20.
Malulung. Mamaya padaan-daan na lang sa
Yung sa club. Okay.
Minsan kasi di binabasok.
Yung dito. Sige.
Paano yan? Katabi kami. Katabi kami. Katabi kami kanina. Pag isang tama kong pag-ibig yan, alam ko na. Parang bless ka sa kanya. Ano sinabi ng E6 niya, boss? Anong stock? Kalahati yung yun, tapos 1 million ba yung pin? Nasa mga Direk! Ano yung stock mo? Direk! Kapag tinamaan ka pa naman, alam na. Ano yung stock mo?
na.
Hindi mag-champion ka din.
Relax
Mag-champion
mo,
ka dyan.
judge job.
Game na. 40-80.
Sure, 80. 80.
Tibay mo, Ben. Tumatabla ka pa.
Action resumes. And we have 4 players remaining, but the chip counts will surprise you. Deck Cruz, who has been running away with it for most of this final table, is now just only slightly ahead. He's got 2.2 million chips. And meanwhile, the unslayable Romel Atiga now bringing up second place, co-second, as he and Junam Sik both have 1.79 million chips, and now bring up the rear after being number 2 for most of this run. Raymond Chu has 1.17 million chips. Blinds are 40,000, 80,000. Nobody really in that shoving range. Their stacks can play, which means this could be anybody's card game all of a sudden. Romel Atiga has survived 4 times through to now being in contention to win the whole thing.
Fold shit.
Under the gun, Mon gets out the way. Junam Sik with 8 deuce offsuit on the button. We are 4-handed, 4 players left.
Fold shit.
Jun will not play. We go blind versus blind. Romel versus Deck for the umpteenth time. 7-5 of clubs. Romel Atiga will complete. He might play very differently now that he has the ammunition. Deck Cruz has the option. Seeing the limp in front of him, can turn his hand into something that shovels chips. Yes, he will raise because the hand has no value whatsoever to try to see a flop with. So if he's going to try to win, going to try right now. Romel was limping to call. So Deck will have to fire a couple more bullets to take this down, but now the pot's bloated. 640 in the middle. Jack, Queen, Jack. That hits the raising range of Deck Cruz. You should be betting here. It will take maybe 2 bullets, but he's got to fire.
9.
He's got position, initiative, and chip advantage, and that will be enough as Romel gives up on this encounter. Deck Cruz chips up back to 2.7 million. How's that for making something out of nothing? 2-3 offsuit. Winning a pot that big is always a great result. And this is the poker that you don't see on TV. The grind. The little pots that don't make the highlight reels. These are the ones that actually build the chip stack of a poker champion.
First up.
Dude, I'm sick. Under the gun, 10-9 off. Been quite resilient and also been mixing up his game. Tonight, he's raised both garbage and gold. And this is something in between. The 10-9 offsuit. And he's coming in raising.
Fold 7. 9. Fold.
Makes it 170 to call.
1-7.
RBA and Deck will be out of the way. And Mond has options here. Got King Jack of clubs in his hand. He's facing a raise from the under the gun players.
Fold shit.
I don't mind any of his options except folding. So he makes this one a call, and off to the flop we go. I see paint. King, Jack, 7, top 2 pair for Mon. Of course he's got to check this. Junam Sik has a gut shot. He's got a double gutter, actually. He can hit a straight with a queen or an 8. And this is worth betting. And now it's up to Mon if he's going to check raise this one or just smooth call. He is never folding. 210 to call. Pot is 670. If he calls, he'll be SPR 1 on the turn. And SPR 1 usually means you're going all in.
520.
He decides to raise now and maybe get value from Ace King. So the check raise is on. It is a committing size. Makes it 520. Daring June to stick the rest of it in.
65.
Wow, he does stick it in. On a double gutter, Junam Sik has decided to bet and re-raise, sorry, all in with his double gut shot. Mon has top 2 pair. You can see that June has Mon covered and can bust him. But for the most part, Mon is in the lead. And with 2 cards to come, June is not in that bad of shape. He will survive this even if he loses. Double gut shot. The turn is a brick. Down to the 7 outs with 1 card to come. River does not deliver as Mon improves to a boat, and Junam Sik is downgraded to short stack.
920.
He lost over $1 million in that hand. And talk about overplaying your draws. Did he think Mon was check raised in the garbage there after he put in more than half his stack? Or did June really just love his draw? Well, he picked a fight that he could survive, and he did survive it even though he lost. Still has 660,000 tips. Good for about 8 big blinds.
June. 500 June. 9.5 na lang, di ba? Binigyan mo kong chips eh.
Bigyan mo pa isa, 9,000.
Isa pa.
Ay, konti na lang eh. Ayoko, konti na lang eh.
Bad time to be asking for a chop. After taking a hit like that, if there was any ICM discussion, it should have happened during the break when their chips were pretty much even.
First up.
RBA under the gun, Jack 7, but we got Dead Man Walking. Well, not really Dead Man Walking, but a potentially volatile player in the big blind. The shortest stack is in the big blind. And he is coming up a loss. I think you should give him a walk here just to calm him down. June gets the walk. He is now the shortest. Well, he has been the shortest stack at this table for most of the evening. DJ Padilia in the background. Still hanging out, and why not? There's cash games always happening at the MetroCard Club, and you gotta get into that 2040 PLO game if you're anywhere near the room. That Cruz under the gun with offsuit rags, and one with offsuit discombobulated cards. Junam Sik now blind versus blind against RBA. It's shove or fold, I think. I don't see any sense in him just completing it, but he's going to do it anyway. I don't know, man.
May discount na 500 pesos.
Ano man yan? 10 seconds.
Baka konti maglaro eh, no?
Raise 280.
Okay, he's raised it to 280. Bit of an angle there with the holding out what is supposed to look like a completion. Maybe he got the reaction he wanted. RBA's got ace three off. Can he read this one correctly? It is blind versus blind. RBA is blocking the ace, which means June is likely not raising with an ace in hand. Flatting may not make sense because it commits June to shove on 100% of flops.
Nabawasan din yung time bank ko.
500 isa eh. Ako wala kang bawas.
For RBA, if he wants to take this on, he's got to take it on for the whole thing. And also, I like raising here because it gives him a chance to win without having to hit. So I think it's raise or fold here for RBA. It is fold. Good pickup by June. Still 4 players remain. June trying to get back into the thick of things. And one for the first time is snapping at the heels of Cruz, who is not far ahead of him now. He was a small, distant taillight about half an hour ago, but now Mond is close enough to read his license plate. Wants to be taking a break with this kind of awful hand. Pocket eights for Junam Sik on the dealer button. Like to see him make it 280 again. Just for balance.
Raise 280. Sit 5.
And he does make it 280 for balance. And this will be quite hard to call for Cruz.
9 fold.
Gets it up. June takes another pot. And that puts him back to the 1 million mark. And that is the thick of things. These are the 4 players left in the weekend special 400K guarantee.
Yung binibilang
Final day, final table.
500. Pwede na.
First time.
Ano, isang kuha, 200,000 ah. Hanip ah.
Nakakatatlo na to. Gagawin na
Kahit
apat.
ano yata ang barahan na lang
Grabe
to, eh.
naman yan, card rush lang.
Tatlong sunod, tapos pang-apat yan.
Gagawin na apat.
June's about to raise again, and
Muna ba?
he has been warned.
80. Sit 5.
This time it's 180,000.
Baka ma-all-inan eh. Mahirap na.
Papalag na kami.
BA with a queen 10 offsuit on the dealer button. 180 he can call, so he does. That Cruz gets out of the way. Mon gets out of the way once again. Junam Sik versus Romel Atiga, but they are not all in this time. They are going to play the flop. June has initiative, but he only has a gut shot. Little does he know his ace high is ahead anyway. Gotta see bet this. It makes it what looks like 220.
Bet 220. Sit 5.
Ang daming galit sa akin, no? Hindi naman bumibili.
220,000 RBA has no pair, no draw,
Oh, ah.
and he gives it up.
Meron lang, card rush.
Junam Sik,
Kuha na siya sa akin. Pag nabawi
not
niya
just
yun,
knocking on the door,
Uy, binding na
got
yun.
one foot in your house.
Siyempre, di mo naman iniiwan sa akin yung chips. Kinuha mo rin.
Uy, grabe naman yun.
And the button has moved. Junam Sik will be paying the big blind and BB ante. 40,000, 80,000 are the blind.
Meron, di mo
Ilan na?
nga pinapakita.
Binibilang mo.
Ito pang 5.
Apat na, 800,000 na yun. Hindi, may kumol pa eh. So 1 million. 1 million na.
Grabe naman. Grabe naman kayo.
Junam Sik has made it back over 1 million after a debacle against Raymond Chu.
Dapat hindi ka nag-ready. Empty ka na eh.
Raise 200. Sit 9.
At Cruz, time to get active. Folded him on the button. He makes it 200,000.
200 lang?
Thinking June may not be willing to part with chips that he just grinded back. And Cruz correctly times that raise to take a pot. See where we stand here. RBA once again on the bottom end of that roller coaster ride. That Cruz under the gun with ace-10 offsuit. He's just coming off a button raise, and he's going to do it again this time. Still 200. Raymond cannot call with 6 deuce. June likely will not defend with queen 7, so now we got the big blind. Can RBA defend with 9-8 off? He does not have much of a stack. And wisely surrenders 2 pots in a row for Cruz as he closes in on the 3 million mark.
Apat din ba yan, Dick? Tulad sa kanyang apat. Nakakadalawa ka na rin. 8 turns tayo.
Round and round we go. Where she stops, we are going to know. Keep watching this live stream coming to you live streaming from the Metro Card Club in Pasig. Pasig City, Philippines. The Mecca of Philippine Poker, the home of Philippine Poker champions. That is the Metro Card Club. Mondes under the gun. With no hand to play with. Junam Sik has some kind of a hand. King 10 offsuit on the button. 210 is the race this time. Just giving up the fact that he has the 10. That Cruz, can he defend with queen 6 off? No, can defend. And Junam Sik takes another pot.
Hindi nagsasalita si Moon.
So, sobra na. Ayoko na. Huwag ka mag-raise ang 200 ngayon, ha? 120 lang dadagdag ko dun, eh. Para mapapold ako dun, mga 450.
Grabe ka naman. Eh, kung makatapak ako.
Ayun na.
Grabe ka naman. Kung makatapak ako, eh, di wala na.
Mag 200 raise mo, call ako, ha?
One is saying he's in the big blind and he will call unless June raises something gross like 450,000.
Tatlong beses na nakuha nga,
Sick of losing blind. Junam Sik.
Nagbigay ng 1
Makikita mo sa Facebook.
600 ang kinuha sa akin. Di parang 400 na lang na panalong. 9-8 na yung ticket. 9-8.
Wag na. Ayoko na. Bored na ako.
RBA. Break out your fork. It's chime to time. Folded him on the button. He is all in.
Ay, grabe. May square lahat?
Square lang.
Aray ko.
No line, square lang. May ganito, may ganyan, oh.
Ah,
Kaya lahat ng baraha, ganun. Hindi nga, tres nga yun. Kala ko no line na eh. No line, king na sa
Success for RBA as he stays alive for another round. Chip stack still a little bit bunched together. Everyone within striking distance of each other.
Nagtatampo. Nakakasama ng loob ah. Pumayag ako dun sa 500. Chips naman, nawawala sa akin.
Umod na ako, hamon ha. Baka sabihin. Walang bara eh. Kaya pumupol din ako pagka wala.
Ten minutes to go. This is level 29 of the weekend special 400K guaranteed Texas Hold'em tournament. Tournament poker at its finest as it comes to you from the Metro Card Club. I know you're following Facebook and YouTube, but please get others to follow as well. Like, share. Get some new eyeballs on the sport that we love.
Si Romel lang nakinabang dyan sa cash game. Ayun, hindi ako manalo.
RBA under the gun, not gonna play this.
Ito, makakaganti ka na, Mon. Makakaisa ka na.
Chance.
Eh, ayan pa eh. May gagawin pa si Dick. Paano ako makakaganti?
Ay, grabe.
Kano yung nire-raise niya? 210? Ang raise ko ngayon, 220.
One is gonna play this blind versus blind, and he's gonna try to
Naman ka na, small
get a little something back from Junam Sik. Oh my goodness. He's actually giving him tips because Junam Sik is sitting on ace king off. Facing a race of 220, he just goes all in. Stellar blind versus blind play here. Mon had to try. And Junam Sik with a speech and shove.
10,000, ay nuli na ako.
Hindi, sinasabi ko lang binding na. Marami
Huwag mo na bilangin, huwag mo na bilangin.
naka-record tayo.
Pero umandar yung oras kanina. So, okay lang, no?
I don't see any avenue that Mon can take other than folding out of this hand.
2.5 na lang pala.
Yun lang, wala rin palang pambili.
2.5, 2.6.
Hindi na naman matutuloy.
Hindi matuto. Uy!
Hindi na. 10,000 na. Okay na ako
Nakikita mo yan sa Facebook o
10.
gusto mo na makita
Okay na
ngayon?
ako sa 10,000.
Hindi, huwag sasama. Pocket king lang.
Isa lang yan eh. Ay, parang naging pocket king.
Sorry, sorry.
Pocket 4 ako, lamang pa pala ako.
couple of liars, but wouldn't be poker if they always told the truth.
Sabi sa'yo, pagka meron lang. Pagka wala, hold.
Well, Raymond tried to get something back, but Junam Sik had the goods in that one.
Ano tanong ni Ricky? Sino animal sa mesa?
Nahimik nga ako. Hindi na nga ako gumagalaw.
Who's the animal at this table? I would say if the animal was a cat with 9 lives, it would be Rommel. Blind versus blind now. June against Rommel. June keeps it simple. He's all in. Small blind versus big blind.
Sayang naman yun, ang dami yan.
Rommel is kind of a short stack here, so he is left with no options. I like that decision by June, and he might keep doing that until RBA yet outchips him again. I mean, just like that, RBA doubled off June, had June in the ropes with 660, but now their positions have swapped. June, through relentless grinding, is now back to 1.8 million chips. Mon is under the gun with a Broadway hand. Ace queen off. The top 10 poker Texas Hold'em hand, if you believe Phil Helmus.
Raise. 230.
Kanina, 220. Bakit 4?
One is raised to 230.
Fold.
Junam Sik gets out of the way, down to the blinds now. And they have all folded. And we continue the action four-handed. You see the floor coloring up a few chips. The blinds are 40,000, 80,000 for 5 more minutes. And then we'll go up to 51. If you're new to watching the stream or you just tuned in, the pink chips are worth 50,000. The gray chips are worth 10,000, and you're watching the final 4 players, final table, final day of the Metro Weekend Special. 464 players, only these 4 remain.
5 fold.
But I mean, it's going to be blind versus blind a lot as we get down to the last few players of a poker tournament. So you need to brush up on your blind versus blind play. And what better way than to watch these live streams from the Metro Card Club?
Raise.
That Cruz opens up with 9-3 of clubs. One can defend. He's 160k to call, not even 10% of his stack. And he knows that can be opening quite wide here. So 3 bets are actually also an option, but I think folding was really the worst. You know, it's marginal. You can call, you can 3 bet. Folding would have been certainly an option, but not the first option. Otherwise, you're going to get abused in blind versus blind play. And especially, you know, when it gets to heads up and you're trying to win a tourney, you got to stand up to all kinds of light races. The man they call Sir Mel. Mel is short for Romel, and RBA is his initials. Romel B. Atiga, a veteran of the game, one of the OG grinders of the Metro 1020 back in the day. That Cruz bringing that limp back as he limps in on the button for 80,000 with 6-5 offsuit. A move that can be sufficiently confusing. June checks his option here, holding an ace in hand, so the limp has worked. And Deck Cruz has flopped a 6. He's now ahead of Junam Sik, who only has ace high. It's a check and a bet and a fold, just like that. Deck Cruz mixing it up. Sometimes you steal pre-flop, sometimes you use the texture on the board to execute a delayed steal. So Deck Cruz showing all the moves as he chips up and tries to get back. He was up to 3.9 million at one point, and I just kept losing chips trying to eliminate Romel. $40,000, $80,000. You see blinds and big blind ante being posted by RBA there. Edmund has the button. Deck Cruz is under the gun with ace 4 off. Yep, why stop raising if it's working? Deck Cruz mixing it up this time with a raise. One gets out of the way. Let's see what the blinds have. Fence must be painful for some of you. But we're waiting to see how they respond to Deck Cruz's raise. Oh my lord, Junam Sik has pocket aces. Deck Cruz almost stepped in it. And he can get away from a big re-raise. Let's see what Junam Sik does. He has put in the re-raise. He was sitting on 1.9.
7 fold.
He's re-raised to about 700. 760. That Cruz is never calling here. Nice try, no cigar. That Cruz is sitting on an ace blocker, but that doesn't mean your opponent will never have pocket aces. This would be a gigantic misstep if Nick Cruz overplays this nothing little ace.
Lines up.
Susunod yan, pabal na ako.
Lines up 50, 100.
Junam Sik has grinded his way back. What a grind it has been. He was down to 600,000 now. He is neck and neck with Deck Cruz for the chip lead, and it is RBA who is back down on the bottom. He has 600K, which as the blinds rise now, he's only sitting on 6 big blinds, and he's in the small blind. Blinds are 50,000, 100,000 with a 100,000 BB ante.
Ginagano-gano mo lang kami, naging 2 milyon eh, no? Pag ako unang na-out, 10,000. Pag siya unang na-out, 9,500.
Naka-record na eh.
Yun yun. Binawi mo naman eh. Wala na sa akin yung chips eh.
10 fold.
Kung saan ako nandito pa eh.
Ayaw naman akong tantan.
5 fold.
Well, it's blind versus blind. This could be just one move. So all in and insta call. Oh my lord! Once again, Deck Cruz has RBA head to rights.
Jack 5 ako.
But can he get away from this one yet again? If he is a cat, he's used 4 out of 9 lives. As a poker player, he's abused his one time.
Romel, pag nanalo ba yan?
Once again, Deck Cruz has RBA on the rope. You hear the player saying, if Romel can get away from this one, he might as well win the whole thing. Jack 6 offsuit for RBA. His tournament life on the line. Deck Cruz with Ace King off. Really trying to put him away.
Chop sila.
3-4-4. No help. But the Jack and 6 are still live. 4 outs in the decks. 2 jacks have been folded.
Last jack na yun eh.
An 8 does not help. Gotta be a Jack or a 6. 4 outs, 1 card to come, or Romel is finally out of here. Oh, it is not quite the 3-liner that he needed. It's a 7 on the river. RBA finally eliminated.
Pero jack talaga, jack din ako. Jack din kay Jun. Kaya lumayo na ako.
Hindi pa nagsais oh.
Edmund and June both folded jacks there. And finally, Deck Cruz gets his man. Not for lack of trying, but he finally busted him, and he builds a little bit on his lead. He got Junam Sik breathing down his neck, too close for comfort. And throughout all of this, Raymond Chu has stayed solid and not really been splashy. And that is why he is one of the 3 players remaining. 3 left. 2 to lose to crown a champ for this weekend special.
Ako kanina pa ako 2 milyon nakuha ko lang.
Chip stacks are close enough that
Kapag ka mas una siya na-out,
if they decide to chop it, it will be
ako na-out, 10,000.
pretty equitable for all of them.
Grabe naman yan.
Ano ba? O gusto mo, una ka ma-out. Tignan mo naman yung page ah. Oh.
Junam Sik, Queen 7 of clubs under the gun. 3-handed, gotta change gears. And he is gearing it up.
Oh, 3 lines talaga.
Bit of a indecision there, but he makes the bet. 220,000. Deck Cruz will defend from the small blind with King Jack off. Well, what a pretty sight from the big blind, facing a raise and a call You can squeeze with ace, king of diamonds.
Milyon na rin ako eh. Yun lang ang paraan ko eh, para makahabol sa chips nyo eh.
I'm trying to undersell the strength of his hand. But beware the speech. He is coming in very strong here. And that Cruz will not call 1.36 with King Jack offsuit. I don't think so.
Hold siya oh.
Hold kami.
Good fold, good raises. And Raymond Chu is chipped up. Now has 2 million chips. Look at this.
Check ICM.
Pretty close. Next Cruz with 2.8, the other two with 2.1. And I think at this point, this is their cue to take a little break to at least look at the ICM computation. They are too close, and it might benefit three of them to chop it right now. No one is in the clear lead. Yes, they will take a break and they will compute the independent chip model. And likely there will be a chop with 10% of the remaining prize pool being set aside for the eventual champion.
Kukunin mo pa rin niya? Hindi, kukunin mo pa rin niya. Yung ticket?
Ano?
9.5.
Kaya sila daw cute. Bakit? Hindi naka-deal na ako ng ilang beses. Nag-deal na ako ng ilang beses. Ngayon mo na ako nakita ngayon. Okay. Okay. Hindi ako sinasagot ni Kuya. Tinanong, di ba tinanong mo ako? Tinanong ko din siya kung sino cute, hindi niya ako sinasagot. Ang binaba niya. Check ka? Move ba? Sige. Wala, nag-compute si Sir Jess eh. Ayun si Sir Jess. Move daw yung player.
Move ko na.
Hindi, pag nagkulang yan.
9 to 7.
Sa 7. Kabahan ka na. Ha? Ano, sir?
Na-move ko na to.
Okay, sir. I-move ko na lang. 1.8. Tama? 1.8. Sakto. 1.8. Ha? Hindi. Sakto nga. Sabi ko. 3.50. 3
Marunong na yung
million 50.
Next week ulit ha.
6-7 kuya, tama. Namove mo na. 7.
Bayad pala yan sa iba. 5, 7, 10. Oo, online. 5,000 ang ano.
3,050,000.
Ilan ako?
1.8. 1.8 ka. Bilangin mo baka nagkamali. Naniniwala ka sa akin? Ay, hindi pala.
Tama.
Tama. Tama pala. Yung alin ko? Map chip? 1.8. Sakto. 1,800,000. $3,050,000.
Siguradong 3M ako. 3,050,000.
3,050,000.
Hindi pa tawang ba?
Oo, 6-7.
Hindi pa?
Tapos yung type na.
Baduy.
$3,050,000. 50 po yan. Seat 10, nasa 2,120,000 to 120.
Pag wala talaga yung choice, just talaga yung mag-order. Oo. Pero malapit daw. Kaya mag-try habang Yes.
Sorry, working.
Ah,
Working siya, working.
very protected. I love.
Naka-quote ba to? Oo. Naka-quote to ah.
Pero nadedetect daw sa camera kapag nandiyan ka, biglang mag-ano eh. Mag-community.
Ano talaga?
Oo. May pili kung
Smile ka.
Lahat ng ginawa ko, lahat tinuro ko gawin nyo. Wala ka.
Invited ba ako?
Oo, ma'am, lahat yun, syempre.
Hindi niyo ako in-invite.
Kailangan i-invite ka pa.
Oo, syempre.
ayaw mo nun, kasama
Yes.
ka.
Bakit?
Ito, nagpa-training sa APD rin. Pero sa pag may APD, wala mag-ooperate.
Yun.
Antay ka lang kasi meron pa.
Wala, pangit
Ito pa yung paglalabanan nyo.
Ano to?
27.54.
Okay ka
Ito yung matatanggap nyo, guarantee.
Kapit-bahay mo pa naman yun. Malapit sa tumagay. Ay, hindi. Ano ka pala? Si ano pala, si Omar.
Kapit-bahay nyo.
Dumaguete.
Si Omar, malapit sa ano, di ba?
Same lang kami ng lugar niyo.
Ewan ko dyan.
Oo, okay lang.
Kasi taga-Negros kasi yun eh.
Laban sa IC. Bon! Okay na na, makapagong puno ako eh.
Go na daw.
Ba't ka naman na ito? Trend. Gusto nyo ba? Babawasan ko pa kayo. $91. 75, 80.
Ilan yung paglalaro?
Pwede ba, boss? Okay na, boss? 5%, diba? Pirma muna.
Yung alin?
Kapsilog ko.
Parati naman eh. Kailan ba ako nagreklamo sa'yo?
O yung 3 kilo ah.
3 kilo, 9.5 na nga eh. Nakaalis ka na nga sa
May mangga ka naman dun.
Bumawas na
Hindi
ng
akin
500.
yun.
Bumawas sa 500.
Boss yan,
Bili
boss.
pa akong mangga.
Boss Jun.
Hindi akin yun. Palalaro ko lang sa
Hindi na muna magtitinda ng mangga. 2 araw.
Grabe ka naman. Parang sinabi niyo sa sarili ko to.
Ay! Kuya.
Hindi pa yata yun.
Hindi pa. Hindi pa.
Hindi pwede naman go na habang
Hindi. Wait lang daw. Wait lang, sabi ng floor.
Dati naman go na bago pa lang. No, sir.
12:30.
12:30.
Dati 11 tapos
Ikaw, Dek, nasa 129 kanya niya leaderboard wala ka.
leaderboard.
Ito, yung
Wala, layo ko pa. Hinahabol ko nga.
Wala kuya. Nagtanong
Top
ako
30
kung naririnig yung pinag-uusapan dito sa tipo.
alam mo ba, Jun? Jun, first time ko mag-day 2. Day 2 ah.
Mula sa taas.
Mula nitong umpisa ng taon, mula January. Ngayon lang ako nag-day 2. Kaya puro kahit ICM wala. Ay, kahit IPM wala. Wala.
Simon, ganyan-ganyan lang yan. Napakabait na yan. Kukuha nga sa akin ng 10 kilo pa yan.
Hindi, wow.
Hindi kumukuha sa akin sa taas. Tama niya yung wife niya.
Kinakabahan ako. Totoo.
Tatawa mag-isa.
Pinagtagtripan niyo ako ah.
Tagal naman.
Mamaya kayo
Asawa ba
pag-break.
ni Jeff yan? Asawa ni Jeff? Ah, ngayon ko lang nakita.
Eh, no, akala nila, steak ako ni Jeff, pati yung isa. Dalawa steak.
Ay,
Sino ba nag-stake sa'yo?
Si Balye.
naano ko narinig ba dito yung pinag-uusap? Ikaw talaga. Ikaw yung nagsasalita kasi sa alam mo ng boses.
Hindi ako. Tinetest na yung audio.
Anong tinitesting?
Akala nila,
Rappers ka talaga kahit kay
Ako rin, 4 ako. Dalawa
Dalawang
nung
steak ng dalawang steak. Akala
na
nila
ilalabas
akin
niyo
lang.
talaga yun. Ay, ay, kinabahan ako.
Ito na
Kuya,
sa akin.
kinabahan ako kung
Kuya
inagot
Rato.
ka sa akin.
Sa champion niya.
Oo nga.
Paano ba to? Umabot halos 700. Umabot
Oo, oo. Ang dami naglarong day 1B.
Day
Day 1 ano ka ba naglaro?
Ha?
Day 1 ano ka naglaro? B. B rin.
Iba na out kita.
Hello, good evening po.
Oo, tas naglaro ulit ako. Sinerte ako nung na-out mo
Puro
ako.
mukha, no?
Hindi, B pa rin. B.
Bago siya na out eh.
Oo, nagpalista ako sa ano.
Pasendo
PLO.
ng chip ka.
Ang tagal ko nag-antay. Level
Pasendo ko
8,
ng
sumali
chip.
ulit ako dito.
Di na.
Day 1B rin ako.
Sinwerte ako, ako nag-chip leader ng
Day
Day
1B
1B.
rin ako umuli. Pangalawa. Day 1A nakadalawa.
Ayun, dalawa rin ako doon. Dalawa rin ako sa
Pala
league.
to, no? Seat 5, seat 7, tsaka seat 9.
Sabi ko nga, bihira pa naman
4-7.
yung chip leader na umaabot ng final table. First time ko mag-chip leader ng dito. Oo.
Siya yun, no? Siya yung chip leader.
200 plus.
260, oo. Sabi ko, sana naman umabot ng final
Yung
table.
500K, pangatlo ako. Pangalawa pala. Chip leader ako pangalawa eh. Pang-14 lang ako.
Sa 50. Ay, modline. Okay na daw siya.
Okay na?
Ikaw, okay ka na?
Nag-announce ka ng rate, sabihin mo yung total.
Magkano yung ano?
27. 27.
Hindi ka ba isang kilo ko?
Start time. Start time. Sino sila?
Boss, okay na to kayo, boss? Okay na.
Resuming action, three-handed. Final three players of this final table, final day of the Metro Weekend Special 400K edition. We'll get into the details of the ICM chop in a bit. Right now, let's look at the action. You'll notice they push the clock back a little bit. I think they will be playing with 15-minute blinds from here on out. Yes, a deal has been made. We see a raise and two calls here. Both blinds are defending very liberally. 969 is the flop. Monda has a gut shot. June has, I don't know what, jack high. Deck Cruz has queen high. And is actually in the lead. He c-bets into two players. And this is going to work out. Deck Cruz chips up to 3.6 million. All right, prior to the chop, it was Deck Cruz with roughly 2.8 million. And Raymond had close to 2.2, and Junam Sik had just a little above 2 million. And so the ICM chop was computed with Junam Sik coming away with 75,000 and change. Raymond Chu coming away with 80,000 and change, and Deck Cruz securing for himself just under 92,000. And 27,500 is set aside to play for still. So these players have already decided to play for the additional 27.5. And here we go. They will be playing with shorter blinds. 15-minute blind levels from here on out. Current blinds are 50,000, 100,000 with 100,000 BB ante.
Kanina ba kita hinahanap? Di umangat yung chips ko eh.
Better late than never. Good evening to Chamba Moves. Joining the stream quite late in the game, but in time to see who's going to be the champion for this weekend. Junam Sik takes away 200,000 there. Players are maneuvering. Deck Cruz is in the lead, but in no way has this locked up. What he did lock up was the biggest share of the ICM chop. But with 27,000 still to play for, the eventual champ will come away with the most. Junam Sik on the button, queen 6 of diamonds. See if he'll play fast or slow. June's been very active tonight. Different from the Junam Sik of a couple of weeks ago. Deck Cruz facing a raise from June, 210,000, but he's got a suited Broadway hand, king 10 of diamonds himself in the small blind. And the re-raise is in order, and it has been declared. Wow, Mont actually has king queen offsuit in his hand, but he's already facing a raise and re-raise. I don't know if this is still worth playing with this much action. And he gets out of the way, king queen offsuit into the muck. June with queen 6 of diamonds, 440,000 to call. We've seen stranger things happen than a call. Largely, we are expecting a fold. Junam Sik will have the button if he decides to call, which means he gets to keep position. But this is a 3-bet pot. You cannot enter with queen 6 of diamonds. So Deck Cruz takes this down, chips up to 3.8 million. Deck Cruz has been up and down, but only because he's been trying to bust Ramel Atiga. And now that that's done, he's back to his solid, controlled grind, and he's trending up. Junam Sik has been up and down, just like RBA all night, doubling up and then losing it. This might be the man with the least variance in tonight's live stream, as Raymond Chu has managed to really just be steady.
Gaganyahin
Blind versus blind, he decides to limp in, and just in time, Junam Sik
Pati lang
has
po.
ace king in the big blind.
Eh, wala na pala flat call dito.
Peach
Dapat
and a
full
shove
raise parada.
meron na tayong
from Junam Sik.
may insurance na ikaw may sabi. Wala na tayong kaba.
One cannot call this. He's, he's played so controlled that he's not likely to call 1.2 million with King 9 up.
Makikita ko na mamaya.
Makikita mo.
Panoorin ko na lang.
See the scores, if you will, there. 16 bigs for two players. Deck Cruz with more than half the chips in play.
Ang tira ko lang dito, all in eh. Dito sa dalawa, hindi ko kaya.
Short stack na tayo.
Ito, wala. Pumupold nga ako rito. Tamo, nire-rebit ako ng 600. Ito isipin mo, yung dalawa. Saan yung magutong yan?
Kaya nga eh.
Ay, call na.
Oo.
Ikaw, hindi ka sa'yo magutong.
Lugi ako rito, iniisip ko ng gusto eh.
Magkano yung kalaban?
On a button,
27.
known as 3-2 of clubs.
Sakit pa, di ba?
Not going to play. Junam Sik, blind versus blind. He's got the pocket sevens.
Si Deck Cruz lang yan. Nangyari naman sa 280.
Makes it 280,000.
Bilis.
Deck Cruz calls pretty quickly, and why not? He can defend with Queen 9 of diamonds. He will have position, but Junam Sik has the pocket sevens
Pati ang
and
energy,
initiative.
mga
But these
top-
sevens
top
get
par-
weaker and weaker,
mga salita sa tanda ko.
except when you flop a set. Junam Sik sitting on top set now,
Ang bilis naman, hindi ko na alam.
and Deck Cruz only has overcards, no diamonds in sight.
Only lang
Juno would be disappointed if Deck Cruz folds to one bet here.
Bumet ka eh.
Oh yeah, oh, hindi ko alam kung ano ibig sabihin nun. Kung totoo bang lamang yun.
Parang meron silang...
Deck Cruz does float one straight to the glee of Junam Sik, was improved to full house. Expect a check here, and there is the check indeed. And note to a lot of you players, usually players will almost always check when they fill up to a boat, and you saw that proven by Junam Sik right there. And now he's very animated. These are all the signs of strength that you're going to learn. He picks up an extra bet as Deck Cruz falls for it. He fires the float bet and now faces a check shove. He only has queen high.
Pwede ba reklamo yung angling?
This has all been quite classic in the way it's unfolded. A lot to learn just from watching that last sequence.
Galing nila no.
Deck Cruz trying to execute that classic
Pinapakita ko
float,
sa kanila. Ano yun?
betting on the turn.
Grabe.
And Junam Sik also with a classic checking of the turn full house. Read enough poker books, you'll see that they will warn you about these things. Most
Alam mo,
players
lamang ko
will
dito,
check when they
may
fill up.
papayag na all in all, lalaban ako. Oo.
All may trophy eh.
So with that, Junam Sik makes headway and is now neck and neck with Deck Cruz for the chip lead. Raymond Chu still in their rear
Gusto
view
nyo, one card look lang.
within striking distance.
Ito na si... Ano masabi sa akin?
Biruan lang naman yun. Hindi naman namin gagawin yun.
Wala talaga akong laban dito sa dalawa.
Grabe ka naman mo. Pagka may baraka, ilaban mo lang.
Dumikit na siya.
Sabi mo yan ha. Lalaban ko na parati ha.
Ilaban mo lang ng ilaban, 220.
After this hand, between hands, I will be recapping the ICM arrangement
Malakas na loob natin.
for those of you
Tamo si Mon. Malakas na loob.
who are wondering and came late, and also for those of you not named Marlon Santos.
Pakibilan nga.
Well, Deck Cruz has called, and Raymond Chu is all in the big blind. Deck Cruz going to call Queen Jack of Diamonds. He needs to call 1.5 million he would lose the chip lead if he constantly gets this strong. Plus, Raymond Chu has been playing really solid low variance style, so you gotta respect his range here.
Yan lang
That
ang
Cruz makes the
pagkakataon
call.
ng mga
He's
ganito eh.
not gonna like what he sees. He is dominated here. He's got Queen Jack of Diamonds and he covers Raymond Chu, but Raymond Chu has Ace Jack offsuit.
Hindi ko alam.
The tournament life is at risk, but he is ahead here.
Wala sila.
As Ted Cruz will have to spike some kind of draw to a flush or a straight. That is nowhere near the case. He only has two outs, two queens left in the deck. And
Chop yan.
well, a chop coming with a 3 or 8. But if he rivers a queen, Mon will be out. Otherwise, Ted Cruz will be the shortest stack for the first time in this final table. Raymond Chu is the chip leader, and Deck Cruz is bringing up the rear. And these are the dynamics that swing.
Aray ko, 2 kilo yan. 2 kilo ba yan?
Naka-discount ka ng 500, bibili pa ako.
Well, just like that, we see now how things have changed. And I promised I'd repeat the ICM arrangement. So here you go, the agreement. At the time they chopped, Deck Cruz had 2.8, June had about 2, and Mon had about 2.1 million chips. So they set aside 10% of the prize pool to keep playing for. That's 27,500. 27,454 set aside for the champ, while they have secured for themselves the following payouts. Junam Sik has secured 75,000 and change. Raymond Chu has secured 80,000 and change. And Deck Cruz has secured just under 92,000. And of course, all of them have satellite seats for the Philippine Poker Million. I believe each seat is worth about 12,000.
280.
And back to the action. Raymond Chu has made it 280, mimicking the race size that Junam Sik has used in a few of the previous hands.
Magkano na lang?
Junam Sik 180k to call in the big blind.
Hindi.
Will he defend with Jack 4 of diamonds? He does defend. It is blind versus blind, so he's playing quite wide here. His cards are live,
Na pinapakul si Jun.
but Raymond Chu is in the lead. 7, 8, 9. June can win with a jack, a 10 for straight or 4. Any pair wins for June, but otherwise Raymond stays ahead. That's 10 outs that you see on your screen.
Ako yung nag-raise, isibit ka.
Siyempre, chumik eh. Mahina yung
Well, no, he can't actually see bet because he doesn't have initiative. This is called a donk bet.
Sino ba dapat yung sumisibit?
Junam Sik donk bets the flop into Raymond Chu.
160.
And I keep saying this every stream, guys, when you see a donk bet,
last draw.
consider raising it most of the time. Because it is exactly what you see here. It's a bluff or a blocker all most of the time. So you should raise it.
Check.
Siyempre, sibit ako ulit.
Sige.
310.
Okay, that wasn't a donk bet. Actually,
330.
Raymond had missed his C bet on the flop, and June had fired a bet in position. So that's actually a float bet.
Tatawad pa ng konti.
There was check call for Mont on the flop. Now June's betting 330,000 with Jack high. He's done a really good job floating in position here. Great call. I mean, not a great call, but great plan to call from the big blind, knowing he will have position. And as soon as Mon checked, he sees the initiative, and now he's betting here, and he could take the spot down. It would be quite godly for Mon to call with king high with no club in hand.
Hindi na ako magsasalita.
And that works out. Great aggro and great use of position by Junam Sik. He needs to show this bluff. It's that good.
Nirace mo yung ganun ba?
Wala. Okay. Buti na lang, ando si Jeff.
Ingay dyan, may 2 kilo na tayo. Ako pa na yan, anak ko.
Oo.
Sabihin mo mamaya.
Tatandaan ko yun, yung may 7, 8, 9. Ano kaya yung re-raise niya ron?
Raymond Chu, we'll find out. It's Jack High. Jack 4 off suit.
Small blind.
What's the hand? And the reason he was able to do that was because Raymond gave up initiative too early. He checked, and Junam Sik was able to execute what we call a float bet. So a little bit of a misstep for Raymond Chu, relenting there and not c betting. Blind versus blind. Junam Sik has 7-8 of diamonds. He's done really well as more and more players took to the rail. He's picked up the aggro. And he's picked up good hands. He's all in here. Deck Cruz insta call. June walked into it. He's dominated. And Deck Cruz might get back to the 2 million mark if his hand holds up. Tournament life on the line. Triangle's on the wrong side. Put the triangle on H7 off suit because that's Deck Cruz's hand. And he is at risk of busting. He's currently ahead. You can see on your screen, but the suited and connectedness of the 7-8 makes it a bit of a threat. Uh-oh, I saw a 9 and a 10. That's an open-ender for Junam Sik, who could bust Deck Cruz not only with an 8, but with a jack or a 6. Neither player has spades, so these 3 spades don't really matter right now. The 3 is a brick. Good news for Deck Cruz. Final card. Deck Cruz will double up or ship out. He ships out. Deck Cruz has been eliminated in 3rd place after driving this table for the past 4 hours. Just like that, the man who was chip lead for most of the stream has been eliminated. He got the money in when he was ahead. That's job well done for Deck Cruz, but River does not deliver, and now Junam Sik should be the chip leader now. We are finally heads up. Last 2 players sitting are Junam Sik and Raymond Chu. Junam Sik has had quite a roller coaster ride, while Raymond Chu has played a very steady, low variance style at this final table, and has just made small moves, no real big pots lost. Meanwhile, Junam Sik has been up and down all evening, and it's been super active. Let's see, these difference of styles might make for an interesting conclusion here. We see the trophy now on the table. And the blinds are 60,000, 120,000, 120K BB ante. Of course, the man on the button is the small blind. But this is it. Heads up. 15-minute blind levels as part of the ICM agreement. Excuse me. Yeah, Rivers have not been favoring the stronger hands this evening, but that's tournament poker for you. I mean, if a flip, not always a flip, sometimes it's 70-30, but 30% is still a big chance. Someone told you you could win $1 million, have a 30% chance to do it, you'd take that chance, wouldn't you? And I'm 6-3 offsuit, it's a natural. But we are heads up. Like both players to play close to 100% of their hands. Even 7 deuce. We'll see play here, and they will go to flop. Trash on trash action. 6-3 offsuit from the Razor, Junam Sik, and the caller, 7 deuce offsuit. Flop, I see paint. It's Queen 9-3, 2 club showing. Of course, 7 deuce just has no piece of this flop. Meanwhile, Junam Sik, I don't think he needs to hit a 3 to bet here. The fact it's checked to him. He can just bet here and take it down. Wow, wait a minute. Raymond Chu is floating out of position with 7 high. This might slow down June, who's only hit a 3. Raymond checks for a second time. What's the plan here? 7 deuce offsuit. Junam Sik is stepping on the gas here. In fact, firing a second barrel. And that is the end of the adventure with 7 deuce offsuit. Loaded 1 bet there. Would have been interesting if he executed some kind of donk bet on the turn. I don't know how he was planning to take that away from June. Right now, players are going to be moved to seats where they can be more visible on this top shot that we see right now. So June might be moving to seat 3 or 4, and Raymond, who's been invisible in seat 9, now moves to seat 6 or 7. 7 or 8. That's where he's sitting. So now we see both of them, and more importantly, they get to see each other like square in the face as they battle in this heads up. Watching the final two players of this Metro Weekend Special, 2 out of 464. And it's going to be either Junam Sik or Raymond Chu
Sabi na lang po
to
pag
take this down.
yes po. Button to 7.
Blinds are 60-120 with a 120 BB ante, so it's a huge disadvantage in heads up in that the big blind is first to act and has to post a BB ante. Button has all the advantages. They have position, they're first to act before the flop. They have position after the flop. They get to fold if they want to and only spend a small blind. They're waiting for the cue for the dealer to deal as our graphics team adjusts the player seating so that we can still read their cards. And away we go. Raymond Chu on the dealer button with King Jack offsuit. He's going to open.
Raise 310.
Makes it 310,000. That's over the minimum. Junam Sik will defend 100%, even though it's 5 deuce offsuit in his hand. Awful hand, awful position, but this is heads up. Anything can happen, and Junam Sik is not afraid of seeking opportunities. He's got a gut shot now, while Raymond Chu has the top pair. Could be interesting. A lot of players like to check raise their gut shots. Junam Sik donk bets this one. It's a blocker. Raymond Chu is way ahead here. So he just calls with his top pair, hoping to induce another bet on the turn. Now it's a little connecting, but still just a gut shot for June. His pair will not save him. Can he fire again? He donk bet the flop, so now he's firing the turn. Raymond Chu's just going to pick this off one bet at a time. Does he want to raise here or induce another river bet? I think calling all the way is a nice option here. He's way ahead or way behind the two pair. And if he raises here, he's mostly just getting called by a hand that beats him, and he's allowing weaker hands to fold. So I really like just flat calling here, and that is what Mond has done. Pot is a whopping 2.44 million. He wants to see that third desperate barrel from Junam Sik. Will he shoot or will he surrender? It's 1.1 million or nothing. That's the bet June has to make. June is all in, just the way Raymond Chu had mapped it out. No way! Raymond Chu made two big calls and failed to get to the showdown. This is a disaster. Oh my goodness, Junam Sik must be living rent-free in his head to pull that one off. You would have think he was committed after that second call on the turn. If he wasn't willing to call a third barrel, then maybe should he clicked it back on the turn? You know, like a min race, just so the river can go check and he can see showdown, or I don't know. There must be some line where Raymond Chu gets to showdown. He wasn't willing to pay the price. And that is why when it's heads up, You defend with almost everything. Now June's just gonna step on the gas and keep squeezing because Raymond Chu is in the respirator, got him out chipped 6-1. So he's all in with Queen Jack. Raymond Chu desperately calls with 4-5 of clubs. He's not that far behind. The 4 and the 5 are alive. The clubs and the suitedness and the connectedness are great. But this could be for the win for Junam Sik. There's the 5 and a club to boot. Now Raymond Chu has surged ahead. And he can be right back where he started in contention. First mistake he made with the King Jack, but he's making up for it here. And now he's got a gut shot to go with his pair of 5s. June needs a queen or a jack. That doesn't happen. Double up for Mond. And we have a battle. June will be down to 4.8. Mond will be up to 2.1. It's not quite a knockout position. I keep saying, heads up. You think about the knockout when you got a guy like down 4-1 or more. So this is not. It's an advantage, 4.8 to 2.1, but not that significant an advantage. It's one race spot away from getting pretty much even. So that's the good news for Mond. And of course, with the blinds at only 61.20, he's sitting on more than 10 bigs. Wow, this could have been over if Mond had hung on to his top pair, but you can't blame him for overthinking that one. He could replay that hand. He might have done something different on the turn. Maybe if he wasn't willing to get bluffed on the river, just push on the turn. I gotta credit Junam Sik for 3-barreling there. Gotta watch out. The third barrel is very polarizing. Nuts or air. I'm sure he'll get over it if he goes on to win this. Otherwise, that would have been the key hand. Back to the action. Mond on the button with an ace in his hand. More than enough reason to raise. It's a 280.
Raise 700.
Junam Sik stepping on the 3-bet button. I like the idea here, changing it up. It's not always going to be flat call defend, flat call defend. Otherwise, the button's just going to run away and keep raising. So he puts him to the test here with a 3-bet. And now Mond is flatting a 3-bet pot in position with ace-6 off. Junam Sik has the initiative, and he's built a sizable pot to take down. 1.52 million in the middle. It's a 3-bet pot. Junam Sik can just bet a small amount, like 2 to 300,000, and if they both miss, he can take this down. They both miss. Let's see what June does.
7 check.
Oh, he didn't get the memo. You can't 3-bet and then check the flop. You gotta take a stab at it, even a small one. If he checks twice, Mond will take this away.
4 bet 500.
500,000. That's a nice size and good enough to take it down. Not a fan of flatting the 3-bet there with ace-6 offsuit and then playing fit or fold after. Mond had an opportunity on the flop when June checked. Either player could just stab that with 300,000, 400,000 and give themselves a chance to win. So June did that on the turn and he took down that pot.
Kalahin mo natalo kasi Dick, akala mo siya na talaga magcha-champion, no?
Well, we thought RBA was going to be the champion. Junam Sik is on a roll here. He seems to be showing all kinds of advantages here. It's like Raymond Chu is being frozen now in post-flop play.
4 raise 310.
So Junam Sik is going to keep taking the battle to him, showing him all the moves. Raymond Chu will defend the raise with 9-8 offsuit. Can he make a move on the flop, or is it gonna be fit or fold? King 8-5. It's a bit of a fit. Raymond checks. June bets. Raymond maybe swing for defense here. Wait a minute. Not even a check call. Immediately gives up. Why would you defend with 9-8 offsuit and then fold when you hit the 8? It is a bit mystifying. It was the second pair, worth at least a call. And in some cases, with only a king showing there, would have been worth a check shove. I think Mon is taking a much needed walk. Either walk around the table or walk to a mentor and try to get his bearings, because he is being bamboozled here by Junam Sik. Is making some playing with monsters under the bed, like we used to say. He's making folds that deserve at least more consideration. I mean, if he was playing fit or fold, he fit that flop and he folded anyway. So he's playing fit and fold. You gotta always consider fatigue as a huge factor. Now it's down to heads up. They've done the ICM deal. He's secured his cash, and sometimes there's just not enough energy to drive efficiently. But let's see if he can find some energy and turn it around here. This flop goes check, check. The queen high is still behind the ace high of Mond. He can get the showdown and win one, especially with a pair here. And he might get some momentum here. He needs to win a couple pots and start to believe again that he can beat Junam Sik. Because in the last few hands, he has only been beating himself. And he needs to turn that around. Still got time. Blinds have gone up to 80,000, 160,000. So Mon is sitting on less than 10 bigs. Blinds have just gone up. So he wins the pot, but he still ends up being less than 10 big blinds. But he's got to take the fight to June. He's got nothing to lose. Any hit, he's got to go with it. He's folded 2 winning hands. June with the pocket fours. He's now sitting on that close to 4-1 advantage. Might just want to push here, and it's a call pocket fours. It's a push for Junam Sik. It's a call with 7-3 of diamonds from Raymond Chu. He did win with 4-5 of clubs earlier. This hand is not much better. It's 7 high, but not as connected. Pocket fours looking good because they are an overcard. They are overcards to the 3, so even though Mon might hit a 3, it's not a live hit. Mon will need to hit a 7. It's ace 6-10. Fours are still looking good, although they could be counterfeited if the pairs come on the board. It's a 3. It's not going to be enough. He needs to hit a 7 because the pocket fours are better. Even though he pairs the 3, he's going to miss entirely, and the 4s hold up. Junam Sik is the champion of this Metro Weekend Special. Raymond Chu finishes in second place after a solid run and a great final table. Great final table played by both players. Difference in styles. June very animated, very active. Raymond Chu very solid and playing close to the vest. But ultimately, it is the fireworks of Junam Sik that blow up the stack of Raymond Chu, and he takes this one down. Thank you for watching the stream, and keep following the Facebook page of the Metro Card Club because some big events are coming, and they're coming in 2 weeks. Good morning to you, and this has been Coach Ron filling in for the multi-talented Jester Incha, and thanks to the Metro Card Club and everyone involved, and thanks to all the players for being willing to show us how they play so that we can all learn the game that we know and love. Thank you and good morning.
Yo!